And man is live. Yes, I'm alive. The man with a second face. All sides and a 50p me. We're in. 12 watching. Okay. You all know that's the 4th of October 2018. We know where we are. We know what we're doing. Yes, family. We've got some good news. I'm not going to tell you now. I'm going to wait. P9. You are privy to it. It's really hard not using caps. Yes, I know it is, but they're only for corporations and dead entities. We'll show you other such things, but yes, let me go through the room. So P9, FP, John, Chill, Jesus, Indy, that's me saying hello. Shut up. Gumshoe, how do? How do, Flock? We're not Flock. What are you trying to call us? IOF, we'll get you on. IOF's coming on, and we'll get the man himself, Kevin, with his good news and his processes. We've just been to Facebook and let the Facebook Trust know. First off, we have a responsibility to them. We establish that first, and then we come straight to you and the .com. I would just like to say, because we're talking about DWP, ESA, work-based capability assessments, at any moment in time, any man, any one of us is going to or could find ourselves in the need to claim something. You know, I'm not saying I agree with it. I have a different opinion on it, on liberties, entitlements, rights, benefits, sanctions. This isn't about that, all right? We're a very deep trust and family. It isn't all about, you know, correcting and dissolving the trust and doing all these fancy moves. We can take you so far, but we want you to understand, cognize, and be able to use that technology and know and stand on it, in it, over it, you know, whatever, and it uses as a tool for you. So we can't afford to run everybody's cases and files and trusts and estates, as you can imagine and as you can appreciate. So what we do is we outline it and we'll give out certain techniques and processes, and within these new techniques and processes that we have been formulating ourselves in the back office when we're helping out in the daytime, and we're working with others that are less abled, that are vulnerable, that are ill, sick, weak. Their rights are being ignored. Their GPs are giving them issues. Their medical files are a little bit messy. They may have got violent, possibly violent on the files, or inclusion onto the violent patient register. They may have been sanctioned. They may have been told certain things and had further sanctions put on. Access to GP, health, medical care. You may be a victim of lost paperwork. You may be a victim of just there's some horrible stories that I personally have seen myself that I'm not at liberty to repeat, but from the short time that I have been immersed in this, helping trustee, putting myself out there and having these emails and chats and private link ups and the messages that I get privately in the emails, I for one am shocked and disgusted at the level of bedridden folk being left, estates being claimed, property, forced adoption, everything to do with the depression, the bad family habits that we have, the breakdown, the drinking, the smoking of cannabis, cocaine. Society today of Anglo is quite worrying, to say the least. I'm not going to side skirt around anything. Man might at any time have something happen, and if you haven't got any knowledge and you haven't got the capability to do all these claiming of rights and entitlements and correcting status, standing, capacity, beneficiary, trustee, administrator, executor, settlor, testator, all these kind of things, you don't need to. We've got some techniques and paperworks which we promised we'd give out once we had them first-hand knowledge. You can only say something works once it's worked a few times. We call a few times 3, 4, 5, 6, whatever. We've got something that's worked 4 times, and Kevin would like to discuss in general terms, redacting personal details, particulars about claims, instances and cases going back about 2 years. You know, he's got some in-depth, articulate, concise, first-hand, non-gossip, actual real results for you with scenario-based, you know, information to back that up, and then the principles and the applied logic behind the management of these sanctions upon, wow, it's so technical, but it isn't, it's not that bad. It's just I'm being careful because I get judged and you learn from us in a fashion. So once we repeat this so many times, it will sink in. We are reprogramming. Man, you are choosing to reprogram yourself. I congratulate you. I am honored beyond words, to be fair. In many ways, on many levels, to know you, to, you know, have you here, and for what we are doing. I'm honoured and humbled to be privileged to have brothers such as Kevin of the estate clan family Phillips, and Andy of the Sovereign Smith estate clan, you know, and family. I am just a humble man. I'm a tiny little speck of nothing in the macrocosm. I'm smaller than the microcosm, and you know, I'm confused myself, you know, in the beginning, and angry, and now I'm quite confident and I'm quite focused, and these boys are getting ready now to settle down, and I'm waffling and warming you up. And please share. This video is open. It will go on to splspro.com because it is going to be part of the key competence foundation. So the key words in here, some of this video, I will edit it, perhaps, maybe. We'll try and keep it clean. I will ask the boys to keep it clean. This is a subject of which you will want to raise profanities. You can do that in the text, in the chat room. You can do that. We've got blue spanners there. Everybody's primed and ready. Thank you, team, family. And yeah, this is important. I'd go and get a pen, a bit of paper, you know, the usual. You're going to learn from this. This is one of your brains are going to start firing. There's going to be emotion firing. If you've got anything you'd like to say, or well, family or friends or anything, we are interested in the past, but there's so much going off in the present and the now, and so much that already needs to be done. We can't really look at these miscarriages and things going predating, you know, the last week or so. We have to move with what we've got now, and as we're building up resources and capabilities, you know, we will archive and index and build up. But for the time being, you know, we're already overloaded as we are on many fronts, pioneering what we are doing, and you know, we kind of yeah, overrun in many ways, and we're building it up. So you're helping us to help you, and yeah, it's good news. Let me tell you, it's very good news. I'm going to go and attempt. Let me think. How long is it now? 10 o'clock. Another 5 minutes. If you're listening, Kev, Andy, this is your 5-minute warning. I can't see the chat room screen. I'm in the kitchen. But yeah, we'll review everything afterwards. I am due to go back to an appointment tomorrow, midday-ish, so I don't want to be up on this. This isn't going to be a mammoth epic, you know, 4-hour, 5-hour indie exposure, you know, midnight marathon extraordinaire. We do like to chirp. That is true. We are conversation starters. That is true. I like it to speak. But yeah, we are going to we're going to rein this in. This is articulate and concise. You got your pads, your pens, your brains are switched on. I know it's late at night, but yeah, believe me, I've learned some amazing things at 3 o'clock in the morning. You know what I mean? When you should be tired and your brains are all these things you get told. Me, my brain was alive at night. In the day, it was in half gear. At night time, it comes alive. My brain is more active in the night, and in the summertime, I struggle to sleep before 3 a.m. It's like every summer it happens, and then you know, that's where your YouTube becomes your girlfriend, and your actual girlfriend starts getting arsey with you. You coming to bed, love? Well, no, I've got to do it. And what do you mean now? You know, you read between the lines, gentlemen, brothers. Remember the woman that you love. You are in a lucky enough, or it happens to be in a relationship, or the partner. There's me being a sumpsist. The partner, yes, that you love. You know, in this day and age. Sorry, I'm just old-fashioned. I forget. I'm tired. 41. Got my excuses. the one that you love. Make sure you tell them you love them. Spend time with them. In this game, we often get, what do we call it? With the horses, yes, tunnel vision. You focus and you forget. And yeah, your family, your friends, whatever, may isolate you. They may call you whatever, and it's your choice. Your choice, man's choice, the free will, and you exercise that. Your choice to learn, your choice not to be watching Sky, Mobdro, Showbox, Cody, copied films over and over again, repetition of crap, for entertainment and leisure purposes. They will repeat that bullshit, pardon my friends, trench over and over again until it goes in your, grey matter. This is programming, the art of it. So let me be honoured to go and invite the boys and get them in and get this show on the road. Kevin, you're first because I'll forget your email if it take any longer. I stored it in my bonds. Let's go. Thank you for sharing 33. That's excellent. Thank you, family. You have done well. You've done me proud for this time or what it is. That'll work. That'll do to start. Any newcomers, please share. Kevin, incoming. That should be him. Invite. One. Smithy, you are next, my brother. Incoming. There we go. Invites have sent. Stand by for action. Anything can happen, as you well know. Apologies for any curse words that may come out. Try and keep it clean, to the point. I will mute and yield and listen to Kev. I will take a note of your questions. If he's got time after, we will answer them questions you put in. Aye, creator. Hello.
Hello, how is one?
I'm okay, I'm good. Thank you for joining.
Bonjour. Are we live on air?
We are live. Yes, we are live on air. Well caught.
Peace and one and all. Guten Tag, guten Abend, guten evening. Peace and love.
We try Kevin again. We're hitting the floor running, as I said. Yeah.
In the current sea, flowing, ebbing and flowing. Only I'm not held in by the banks.
You're not bound either.
I'm certainly not.
I was thinking earlier, much obliged. That saying, I said it to somebody earlier. Went much obliged, and then I thought, much obliged. Yeah, obligations,
Mm-hmm.
Just a brother held the door open in a shop for me. Went much obliged.
Mm-hmm.
Tip my cap to him. Thought I was obliged. I was obliged to say thank you.
Absolutely, we have obligation to fellow neighbour, to love thy neighbour. We have obligation to fellow man. That's what it's all about. We have the obligation and duty to, first and foremost, unto ourselves. And then when you have that level of care and compassion and love for yourself, that's what outwardly attracts and you have it for others. And that's how you become one, unity.
Yeah, you receive it. Receive it back.
Absolutely. Laws of attraction, magnetism. That's how it happens.
All right, I've just sent Kev an invite. We've got 35 in the house. Thank you for the 35. I don't know if you can see the chat panel, chat screen, Andy.
No, I can't see the chat screen on my phone, Dave. I'm afraid I have to use another device.
Yeah, no worries. I'll update it in a bit. All right, I'll go again. I'll give them another try.
Hope all is well. I was in there earlier, and Brother Gumshoe giving me a bit of stick, telling me I put on there for the crack like old Gizzer Spanner. Yes, but you're dangerous enough with that one.
Oh,
what's he trying to say? Here's me thinking I'm
no.
full of love and compassion and just right and proper. The man's calling me dangerous.
He's a good lad. He did cause a scene, didn't he? The grand entrance to the seminar in Sovfest, eh? The cheek of him. After all we got him through there, eh? Saved him how much?
Mate,
A small fortune.
I shall drag him into back office and dress him down. Don't you worry about that. Don't say anything in front of everybody, mate. This is our secret. I'll redress him. Don't you worry.
Kevin, where are we? Let me go again. Invite him. That's definitely his email. I copied and pasted it so I didn't get it wrong. I confirmed it with him, so I'll try him again. Yeah, he did well. He did really well there. That was good news, well received.
Yes, it was good. A shame he kept putting his finger over the microphone, but we'll get him there on the old TV appearances.
Yeah, I did ring him and say that's why it paused. I'm like, Kev, you've gone muffled, mate. You've got your headphones have come out, and you were like, no, it's my little finger. Oh wow.
He needs a phone stand.
Let me ring him. Yeah, stay there, everybody. It's worth waiting for. I'll just give him a nudge on the dog and bone.
I'll just hang out here, shall I?
Yeah, hang out. Literally, if you got anything to chat to him about, it's your time to shine, Andy. Off you go. Off you go,
my
brother.
time to shine. Lord Almighty, give me
the
strength.
stage is yours.
My shining is done, mate. I've given all there is to give. I've said what there is to say. You know, I've done what there is in Face Page, and I've spoken my speeches. I've given my gospel. I've read the biblical text. I've translated it. I've given my perception of it and the way forward from now.
Yeah, and you're online. Yeah. You're online. Hangout's open. And it was that email.
I'll wait a minute before I start talking because otherwise I get baffled out with Dave's one on the phone call.
Sorry, brother, I'm running around left, right, and centre. I think he's incoming. I just rang him. Said, we're ready. His audience is ready.
I did start to fill the void, but then your phone call voice may have drowned mine out, so I just stayed quiet there for a minute until you returned.
Oh, I'm so sorry. How rude of me. I didn't realise I would have muted him. Push to the limit. I'm trying, Andy. I'm trying.
I'm only saying what I'm seeing. It's future training. It's all written down, darling. Oh, Kev, hello.
Hello.
Get in.
How are we?
What? How are we, sister?
Oh, feeling all excited and a bit damp in my undergarments.
You're only my reflection.
Yeah, it wasn't daunting. It was just a bit like, right, I'm winging this on my own.
Absolutely.
So I hope I did okay. I did, so I was a little bit off guard.
Beautiful. Full commendation. Good. You get your chest out, brother. You deserve it.
Of course, not at the moment. Make them more like a treasure. It's a sunken chest at the moment.
Treasure chest.
Yeah, it's full of the purest green.
It's full of love and it's full of wealth, mate. And we're building the knowledge with you, and it's a beautiful thing, mate.
Oh, great! I say it was nice to get it out. Loads of comments. I obviously looked back through it. It was nice, nice crowd. Yeah. So,
nice little shout out you give me there earlier as well for all the tips and comments and things that I've helped you with, and we're all doing it together.
Absolutely.
Stuff I've mind in behind the scenes, back office when we're doing our own things privately and getting all this together. It's nice to be recognised for these times that we are together. Wicked, mate.
Absolutely, mate. And it is what I've learned.
That's it. I think it's your end, Kev.
Is it?
No, it's not. It's gone.
Hello?
No.
It's that moody David again.
Yeah, it's messing about. You know what he's like, mate. You don't like us having all the platform.
It was a great. It's nice to get it over. Obviously, we get all the paperwork up for people to see. As I said before, nothing's changed. Those have been used word for word as they've been printed. But what I got from SP, the angle we started with was let's fight them inside the law. And that's the road Graham and I took. Then, at the beginning of our journey, we then had SOVs. I'm pretty sure it was either suggested to us or we were invited to join SOVs. And from the moment I watched the page, it said everything to me. The way you were heading, everything started to make sense. So then I started listening to the road you guys take, the status, standing capacity, all seemed to make sense. And then it wasn't until I did that letter for one of our other beneficiaries we're helping out at the moment, and I sent it. It was sent to you for proofing, just to have a read of it.
It was on. I did proof it, and I'll come back with some feedback for you.
Absolutely, you did. Which again made perfect sense with the little bits I knew. But you brought me up to date with, if you're going to write as man, then you use man case. That's the way I see it. It's man case, not person case.
Exactly.
Which made absolute sense to me. Keeping it so you've explained jurisdiction, so don't mix. You got to be careful. You don't have to be careful, but it's just prudent to stick with. That's what I know. I know that's correct. Stick with that.
For me, uppercase is oily. It's dirty oil, and lowercase is water. It's clean water. It's the water of man. And when we don't mix the oil and the water together, we don't mix those jurisdictions, the jurisdictions of man and person. So that's what we're bringing forth there for those that are listening. Yeah,
it was. And it's to say it's not rocket science for people to understand. It's the same as the way we sign those letters off with status, correcting status, standard capacity, blah, blah, blah.
You can do VC or you can do 3 dots before and 3 dots after.
That's right. Yeah, that's why I brought that up.
After. Or you can put your own box around it, draw a box around your autograph. There's a few different things that you can do, but each to our own.
Absolutely. Let's say there is plenty of tricks, tips. I'd rather call not tricks. They're not tricks at all. That's the thing. It's nothing to do with tricks.
No trickery here. There's no trickery. Only remedy.
So and the autograph part. But as I say, it's not that difficult to understand what you're saying. But it is important you understand, overstand when you use a sign off like that. It's always a good place to be. Is should you get questioned, you can answer the questions. That's where I like to be. And there's no good hand. It's like we had somebody post.
Turn your mic off, mate. Dave, we're getting a reverb back through you.
Reverbing.
Yeah, get off, Dave. You're ruining everything.
Sorry about that, Kev. Carry on, brother.
That's all right. No problem. We had somebody
post for him.
I know, Andy, but there's not enough days left, mate, to do that, is there?
Yeah, no.
Put your handbag away, darling. We've got this.
Yeah, me and Andy got it. See you, Dave. Not needed, mate. Bye.
All right, I'll end the broadcast. Sorry, I'll end the cast. Today. See you later.
Oh, don't cut a brother's off. That's disgusting.
Crack
you
on.
Cow, you men are all the same.
We had somebody put a post up recently. I might add I didn't approve it, but no. About basically the what I read was I've got a bike, but I don't want to insure it. I mean, that's how it came across to me.
Yeah, I've seen it, mate. It's not.
The beauty is people coming back and saying, well, you're an idiot then, aren't you? This is not what we do. We're not here to get you out of stuff. That's not what it's about. Yeah. And if you don't and so he basically was asking, can somebody give me something? Could somebody write me something down? So what? He's going to whip this out of his pocket when he gets pulled and go, right, read it off. And now what if the copper goes, oh yeah, but what about so-and-so? He's going to go, well, actually, I need to go and speak to one of my trust brothers to find out what that means.
Exactly that, mate.
You've wasted your time.
There's no template for that type of remedy.
No, there isn't. And, I'm glad there isn't. It's this stuff's got to
It's
be
about
used for the
morals.
right reasons.
It's morals and ethics, and you have to have
Yeah,
goodwill and good intent. And you have to have clean hands and stand in honour. If you have none of the above, then you're in trouble.
yeah, absolutely. And this is where we've been effective with the process that we've developed, and it has been development over 2 years. But now we're at the stage where we've done the pitfalls, got through the pitfalls. Now it's perfected as it is.
It's the
It
verbiage.
really is.
We've cracked the language. That's what we've
Yeah,
done, mate. We've got the words in order. We've got the right context. We've got the right narrative. We've got one sentence, one meaning, one word, one meaning. It can't be assumed or presumed upon. It's taken from the at-law, common law level. It's moved into the private, and it's dealt with correctly. And it's
yeah,
quite easy. It's a big old
yeah,
picture, but you can break it down very easily and nicely. Very
yeah.
nice.
Very nice.
Hello.
Sorry about my.
I can only say, mate, I'm really grateful and I'm thankful to my own learnings and teachings and education that I've took myself on to help you in this way, to bring it forward, to help others, to help you, to help me, and we're spreading it about. It's a great university that Dave has put together here for us all to shine
Absolutely.
upon. It's a beautiful place. Let's have it.
Yeah, and the feedback, you can see people are sticking around, people are understanding. I've even started noticing people that wouldn't really come near us before starting to use our verbiage and our
Oh,
approach,
mate.
which is,
If I
all
hear
of a
people,
sudden,
my family and that sound like me when they're on the phone, and the administrators of our group now they use my verbiage, even the bonjour, when I'm even having
yeah,
the crack and whatnot,
yeah,
it rubs off, and it's a beautiful thing because if you are seeking remedy through the SES2KV or through these types of things, then it's imperative that you have the verbiage nailed. You can't just read
yeah,
it off of a piece of paper. You must be able to recall it from the heart and from the
yeah,
mind, and
yeah,
that's why I resonate with people like I do, because I've took that many years of understanding what's what here. I can just break it out dead nice and easy and quick and simple, straight off the tongue every time, off the cuff.
yeah.
And it's not quite as simple as that, but it is easy.
When I grow up, Andy, I want to be just like you.
So do I.
Yeah, I
I've
wanted to
had
say
tough
something,
times.
boys.
It's not all been easy. I've had tough times in life, it's took those tough times, it's took those dark alleys, those dark nights for me to get out into the light and then bring my light to others. It's took some tough times, brother, let me tell you.
Yeah, I know. I can imagine, mate. I know. So, we've walked the walk. That's why it's taken a while. We haven't just come up with this as a theory. We've walked it. We've done this
Oh yes,
ourselves,
we've
on
been in there
ourselves.
in personam. I've acted in
Yeah,
personam and gained remedy with one piece of paper, one
yeah,
pen, one sentence. Really easy.
absolutely. Yeah. And
If
as
you
I
can
say,
say it, you can write it. Normally they would like it in clarification on paper, but if you can turn up in personam and you can
yeah,
verify, you can reverberate what you are meaning, then they
yeah,
know that and there's no need for clarification. They'll have you out the door as fast as possible.
absolutely. See you later.
I know.
Don't want him.
And speaking of clarification, because of the time, like it's getting on to 20 past 10 now, would we be able to get to your outlay of your journey so far, then what you've come to recognize over the repetition? Can you just like redact the personal information, and Kevin, just give us the outlay again? Now you've just had a test run through down on the FB. Can you do it again on here, please, and just let the family
Yeah.
know the good news and
Okay.
where you're coming
So,
from and why? Yeah, I'll go mute.
yeah.
Yeah, and just leave you to crack
All
on if
right.
that's all right.
I'll basically start where I started before, give you an idea of where we come from. And okay. All right, people.
Back to the
Basically,
studio.
back to studio. Yeah, where's my cup of tea? He's thrown me now, and I
We're
forgot
not
what I'm
better
doing.
than him. You'll learn something from us. You won't learn out from him except how to get syphilis. Shh.
Anyway, okay, so I'm disabled. I've got serious problem with my right leg, which has been going on over well, it was 20 years ago, just over 20 years ago, came back to haunt me 10 years ago and screwed everything up. As a result of that, long-term illness and medications I was on, I ended up with, I've got a COPD. I've had asthma all my life, so I've now got COPD on top of that. I've got a blood problem where I'm not making red and white blood cells. That's being investigated. I'm basically a wreck. I'm rotten. And I tried very hard at it, and I looks like I succeeded.
You're not rotten. You might be a little bit worn out or something, but you're not
Yeah.
rotten. You're not wreck. The ship is a wreck. You're not a wreck either. Sorry.
No, I'm all right until I stand up and have to do anything. I can sit here and talk.
Yeah.
I can sit here and talk all night.
You're a superstar and you're a hero, let me tell you now. And now I'm going to yield. I yield. Go on.
Thanks to Michael Barnes, who came round and did some personal geoengineering on me and gave me some weird bug. My chest's not great at the moment. I've got a chest infection. So that's sort of knocking me sideways a bit with everything else. But anyway, so I am in receipt of DLA and ESA. So obviously, being on that path, you naturally have to do assessments, etc. So I have done a couple, although they've been at home. But then obviously new information came to light about what exactly was going on. You know, hang on, what do you mean the DWP aren't a government agency? What do you mean they're not a government department? I mean, that sort of information. That's what came to me. So I learned them are private. Say private business. There they are, registered. So when it came round for the next assessment, which I do believe was about August 16, now, at this point, conditional acceptance hadn't entered our realm. So I was just basically, oh, hello, you're Maximus. I know who you are. You're not who you say you are. You're nothing to do with the government. Who are you? Where's the contract? Got asked them a load of questions. Sent them a letter. They sent one back. Oh, we're agents for blah, blah, blah. So I had to respond, which was, thank you for your letter. It clarified nothing. We still don't have a contract. You haven't shown me. I now consider your actions harassment against the Harassment Act and the Privacy Act. Schedule of fees. Any further communications from you will invoke that. Blah, 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 blah. Sent it. Then what they did, they pretended to send me a BF223 letter. I'll go through that in a minute. It's a failing to attend. They send you a letter and you respond to it. So they'd done one of those and I responded. What they did this time was they left me alone, and then about a month later, they cut my money off. So I phoned them up and said, what's going on? They said, well, you didn't respond. And I said, well, I didn't respond because you didn't send anything to me. If you look at my record, you'll see I respond every time without a problem. But I didn't get the letter. And of course, I've got people here that can witness that it never turned up. So they sanctioned me. So we took it to tribunal with all the law and everything. They then failed to supply in the 40 days for the DPA. And it actually took them twice as long. On day 79, so I had to adjourn one hearing because of them. And then, they held me off for 6 months, basically. We went to tribunal, Graham and I, which was brilliant, to be honest. We went in, it's just me, him, the tribunal judge lady, can't remember her name now, Anne something, and the clerk. Well, the first thing I did, Graham's having to push me in my wheelchair because, you know, I just can't walk and stand for that any amount of time, really. It's just too much. Anyway, the first thing I did was I dropped Black's Law Dictionary on the desk in front of her, and you could see her eyebrows raise a little bit. But the long and the short of it was, in our evidence, I probably had 20 or 30 pages, something like that, different bits and pieces. So on page 3, basically, typical, on page 3, we didn't have any bosoms on it, but anyway, on page 3 is when the fraud was exposed. So she starts and I say, well, you know, here's how I see it. It's no contract, blah, blah, blah. She said, it isn't a contract. So I looked at her and I went, okay, madam, how about agreement? And she just shut her mouth, put her head back down. That was that. But at
Trust.
the end of page, I said, okay, let's call it an agreement then. And she went,
Because everything's
didn't like
agreement,
that.
and it's
Yeah,
tacit agreement as well, and that's why man is suffering taught through these tacit
yeah,
agreements. And a tacit agreement is whereby a full disclosure isn't given.
that's
So
right.
we're tacitly agreeing, thinking that we know all the background, but we don't because they haven't been forthcoming giving that
Yeah,
information. So the full disclosure isn't given, and that's against many laws. So,
absolutely.
when you break it down to an agreement, it's a tacit agreement, and a tort is a wrong in law. And so man has been
Yeah,
suffering a wrong because of that tacit agreement, which is not given the full disclosure. So
that's right.
I'd break that down, Kev. Thanks, mate.
No, that's brilliant. No, well done, Andy, because I'll just spiel on.
And
I
ignorance is
just,
no defence. Don't forget, ignorance
no,
is no defence.
absolutely
So
it
if one
isn't.
doesn't know, it's, and you don't need to know you're in a trust to be in a trust. And
Yeah,
oh, it's an agreement. That's part of a language of which dictates to them, you know the game. Indeed, it is.
yeah,
Yeah.
Well, you know when it's agreement because only you are signing it. If only you are putting
yes,
your pen to the paper, then you have an agreement. If you
yeah,
have two signatures, one from each party, then you have a contract. And it's
contract. Yeah,
very, very rare throughout your lifetime that you will ever come across a contract. You will always have an agreement. When you take loans
absolutely.
out from the bank and everything, there's only one signature on there. It's your bugger. And so there's no contract. All these things are tacit agreements, and that's why you're suffering torts.
Yeah,
Constructed, yeah, they're constructed. You haven't made them. They're made by somebody else, like a bank
yeah.
loan or something, and it would be you agreeing to somebody else's terms and conditions. Where what Andy's just pointed out, there'd be a meeting of the minds, is what they
Well,
call
In,
it.
that's what
Right?
there has to be.
in layman's terms, they would say, "Have you read the small print?" That's what they mean by that.
Aye,
Yeah,
well said.
Well,
Go on.
these things are set up online now, more and more often now. It's all internet interactions, and you apply for these benefits on the internet and online, and
yeah,
there's no such chance to have these small prints or nothing forthcoming. And when they call you up regarding these things and you're in desperation and despair because you've had no money for 12, 14, 16 weeks, you're not going into all the ins and outs about it. You just require some money to feed your children. They know what they're doing.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah, well
yeah.
said, brother. Well said.
Absolutely.
You was
It's
madam.
just
Yes, before you were saying anyway, madam. If you got lost or sidetracked, sorry about
yeah.
that.
No, yeah. So basically, as I say, we were starting to the fraud was going to be exposed on page 3. So we've got to the end. I've got to the end of page 2 of what I'm telling her, and she literally just went, "Mr. Phillips, I've decided to award this to you," just like that, out of nowhere. I thought I haven't even given any evidence yet.
Because she's agreed to it. That's an
So
agreement
yeah,
right there,
so it
brother.
was literally no, no. We don't want to hear the rest of it. It's yours. You've won. Off you go. Please get away. So off we went. As I say, within a week of winning the tribunal, I had 3 letters come through the door from Maximus, all on the same day. So I can only assume one of them was an invite, one of them was probably a retraction of an invite, and one of them was saying, actually, we don't want anything to do with you anymore, but I never opened them. I just returned them because I'd previously said under their regs that if post is not being delivered or I think it's being stolen, I can ask for it to be sent registered signed for, which I'd done 9 different requests in writing, on the phone. So basically, I had them tied down there because they were just sending me letters, so I just sent them back. Told you how I'm going to send them back. That's what I'm doing. And
Can
it
I
took
just
a
say,
further. Yeah,
yeah,
go on, mate. Go on.
a good thing to interject here is then in a argument, any kind of argument, claim, or legal situation, if someone's purporting to have sent you communication, you've just hit the nail bang on the head. If they can't prove in a court of law that there was instrumentation, it's not only unethical to send legal documents through domestic post, but there are certain implications that you can't prove you've served somebody. If you just stick a
Yeah,
standard stamp on and put it through, you can't get that signature. You can't get that special delivery. Special delivery it's called such as that because for a reason. It's not
Yeah.
just because it's special like magic. It is
Because it's insured, because the Queen
you
stamp
know,
has intrinsic value. It's backed by
So,
silver, nothing else is. So it has to come through the hand, through
and
the hand of man.
he's held them to bang to rights, and if he wanted to argue that, say, if he hadn't have remedied or done what he's done and gone the way it had gone in his favour, he could have argued, well, can you prove that? And for everybody else listening, if someone posts you a card through the letterbox and it happens to be Big Barry, and he's saying, I've been round and I'm going to come round again, and he keeps posting these cards and says, well, I posted your cards. Well, have you really? Can you prove you've posted them cards? No, you haven't. So therefore, no cards have entered this address. You fool. Carry on. Yeah, you've done well there. You've done really well there, Kev, by stating you wanted it to be sent because you had concerns and fears.
Your legislation says this. That's what I want. Well, they've ignored that. So what happened? Obviously, they got these 3 letters from Maximus. I do believe they were on a £1,500 a letter schedule of fees. And I think I responded as well. So I think they ended up responding and sending them a bill for about £6,000. That's ongoing. That's by the by. That's a whole different process. But basically, 5 months, I'd written to them and said, I've asked you this before. Who are you? Did the big Maximus letter, the one you're going to see that everybody can look at, pointing out all these questions, asking all these things. And then I got a response. And it did say, I swear to you, I've got it here somewhere. The letter says, Dear Mr. Phillips, you ask a lot of questions. We've passed it on to the Directorate of Social Services. And I'll be honest, at this point, I remember looking at Graham and going, I've poked the bear now, mate. I've really poked the bear. This is going up. This is either going to end in absolute disaster. But it didn't. I never heard another thing. Not a letter, nothing. Anyway, they're continuing to send me the odd letter. I don't know what it was about. Wasn't recorded delivery, so it just went back in the post with what I told them, what I stated I would write on it. So they cut my money off after about 5, nearly 6 months. And I phoned up and said, what's happened? Cut my money off. Well, we've got loads of posts being received. I said, yes, it's taken you over like 5.5, 6 months to get that back. What's going on? I said, well, you haven't been, we were checking you were still at that address. I said, look at the letter of July last year. So she read it. I said, do you understand that? And she said, yeah, your money will be in the bank in 30 minutes or 45 minutes. And it was done because I'd used their legislation, then could back it up in letter. As soon as I said, look at the letter, she went, right, there's your money. Sorry. And I've not had anything else. I don't get anything from them. If it turns up, and it's not recorded or signed for, it goes straight back in the post, mate. Straight back in the post. Don't write to me like that. I've told you. And this is where I am. So then Graham, my erstwhile colleague and long-term friend, he's in a similar boat, serious heart problems, health, etc. Now, by this time, through people like yourselves, we've cognised a little bit more, and we decided conditional acceptance was the best way. So we've adjusted. My approach was, who are you? I don't know who you are. Here's a schedule of fees. Don't mess with me, blah, blah, blah. Sanctioned, but one. Well, then we discovered, okay, we conditionally accept.
We're a bit smoother,
I was a little bit vexatious. I wouldn't write like that now. I wouldn't do that now with what I've learned, but it ultimately it still worked. But now, so with Graham's, we knew a bit more about the process. So we conditionally accepted. We conditionally accept your kind offer of a health assessment on the following conditions. And you'll have to read the letter because it will blow your minds what we asked. But basically, we discovered, they're private businesses. They're nothing to do with the government. They're pretending to be. Everything's private. So that all became clear. The agents are private. They're private.
Corporate.
So that's how we started dealing with them. But we conditionally accepted Graham's. So we conditionally accepted on the grounds that Maximus answer all these questions, show us licenses, show us the BMA registrations. Read the letter. There's so much in there. It'll blow your mind. No wonder they just passed it on. They just went, oh, my God. As I say, off it went and nothing. I've had... I've been paid. This is over 2 years. So obviously I had a 6-month period where they did stop it. So I've had at least 18 months where I'm getting everything. No writing to me, nothing. No assessments, nothing. In fact, if I phone up Maximus now and say, oh, my name's Kevin Phillips, blah, 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 they just go, we have absolutely no record of you. We have nothing to do with you, Mr. Phillips. We don't know who you are. Please go away. So that's what I get from them now. But Graham's, no sanctions, conditional acceptance, no sanctions. But what they did do, by the time we got the letter out, it was probably a bit close to the assessment appointment date. So what happened was he didn't attend because they hadn't responded to the conditional acceptance. So they sent the BF 223, and we've also got a second letter there already prepared for everybody, which is the response to the BF 223, which is basically says, well, hang on a minute, we asked on this date, we sent this letter, we asked all this, we've had no response, therefore that's why we didn't go. And they went, well, okay. And he's left alone. Absolutely gone away. Nothing. No letters, no sanctions. Not one sanction did Graham. We've perfected it to the point where Graham hasn't even had a penny stopped.
Can you enlighten as to what you're conditionally accepting? Is it like the validity of the guys, the ones inspecting and performing the the assessment? Yeah, the
what the problem is. What the problem arises is now. I assume anybody who's. I'm going to make an assumption here. It is in my understanding that most people that are signed off long-term have a certificate from their doctor, possibly even a certificate from a consultant. But very rarely does a consultant do it. It's left to your GP. But generally, your GP will only give you a ticket on the strength of what your consultants have written. So you've previously been assessed by a consultant of whatever level. Like I've got orthopedics, cardiac, I've got hematology. I'm under loads of them.
And then you get someone from DWP, send someone in from Tesco's to give you an assessment and say it's all wrong.
Yeah, a till operative. If you consent to their process...
Supermarkets are available. Go on.
yeah, other supermarket and other types of assistant are available. But, yeah, basically, that's what you're consenting to. You are consenting for an idiot. You're saying, yeah, I don't mind an idiot assessing my health. I don't care if they're qualified. That's what you're doing. So our process is basically, well, hang on a minute. I've previously been, basically what you're saying is I've been assessed by a consultant in this and a consultant in that.
By a professional. That, and you're sending me the secretary.
My doctor. Yeah. My doctor's. So I expect anybody to assess me to be at the same level as my consultant or above. They cannot be under
that criteria. Exactly.
So you've entered a negotiation about you're not refusing an assessment. You're entering a negotiation about how it's going to be done.
You require a level of competence within the assessment. It's as simple as that.
Absolutely. Yeah. And so, and the other fact is, here's a fact. An England fact, very important. Remember, none of us live in the UK. None of us. So another question is, well, here in England, anybody that carries out a medical assessment must be registered with the BMA. Please supply all of your assessors' BMA registration numbers.
Absolutely.
Right? So you're asking questions like that. How come your bankrupt American corporation and you put the numbers up of when they were made bankrupt? These are the numbers on Dun & Bradstreet. How are you doing business in England when you've just changed your name? And please explain that. Where's your license?
Who owns Dun & Bradstreet?
Sorry?
The BAR own Dun & Bradstreet.
Yeah. But you know, you can get
That's
all
what's
the
up to you
information
there.
of
That's
Well,
why they
yeah,
own everything, and that's why they're screwing you in personage and barrage like they are. And this is
yeah,
how we're setting
yeah,
them straight with what you're saying now, Kev. It's superb, brother.
they're
yeah.
all in
It's so
bankruptcy. Everybody's in bankruptcy, aren't
yeah,
they? Don't
exactly.
all
Everybody
the
is,
government is
exactly.
pointing
The
it out
children,
now.
it's insolvent. It's insolvency. That's what they call it now. They've changed the verbiage.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
it's going insolvency. Yeah, go on, then, Kev. Carry on, brother.
So how are they doing business? Basically, ask the questions. They have to answer you. I mean, what they do is they go, oh no, we're passing it off to this department because that's who our agents. But
Mm-hmm.
now we understand what you should do at that point is you go straight to the ICO, the Information Commissioner's Office, and report them for failing under a section. I mean, don't forget we put them under Section 10 DPA notice because it was Section 10 at the time. I know we've got GDPR now.
Because they are pirates of the sea.
Exactly. So we've put them under everything, and they just basically try and blanket. You know, oh, just ignore it. Just ignore what's going on. But you compel them in the end. You know, it's about compelling them, and it's all we're
Mm-hmm.
doing is saying, this is what the law says. So show me where you've got. Can you show me all these lawful documents you should have to prove who you are? And then I'll quite happily come and see one of your idiots. But of course, they can't do it.
Absolutely.
So you basically have not refused. You never refuse an assessment ever.
You
Just
never say
conditionally
no.
accept it.
No is
Never say no.
vexation. You
There's
always
an
Yeah, and
accept it
they
conditionally.
yeah.
lads, brothers. There's an important thing I've been meaning to say, and I keep forgetting it, and it's just come back, so I need to say it now, please. That the important announcement I have is that we're going to get a document soon that's going to have a points on it and give us an indication as to how they score these points. I can't tell you
Oh
who,
yeah.
what, where, and when, but just trust me, we'll share it when it arrives.
Oh
And number
yeah.
two, you know, I was quite taken aback by this proposal at first, where I've been helping a user of YouTube, an account holder who's in some bad ways, and Kevin has become privy to this over the time and joined myself and this YouTube user. We can't reference him at all on this chat, no. So yeah, we've helped him, and yeah, this has happened over time where Kevin's become privy to certain aspects of this case, and he's seen how long it's gone on for, and he said, well, instead of this gentleman who's got an issue where he can't attend a healthcare assessment, and I can share with you in general terms that this system has invited this man who's incapable physically of getting to an assessment. I have taken on power of attorney, and I'm in touch with quite a lot of agents, and that CHDA, Chadder, the nickname for them, and PALs, and the North, such and East and South, whatever, parliamentary complaints managers, you know, the chief executive of. I've been up to the top and told them, your system's failing. This man is not a trustee or anything, he's a beneficiary, you know, he's asking you for help, and your system keeps inviting him for an interview, and because he can't go for the healthcare assessment, sorry, you stop his money. But we've submitted and had the mandatory appeals looked at, and then you've given me his money, and then in 2 weeks you ask him to go back for an interview. So can somebody with a brain intervene this vicious circle, because you're harming this man, and this is the least of his problems, to be fair. But then Kev came along and said, well, if they're stopping his money because he's not able to go to the interview, and you're telling everybody that, and the machine, everybody, that's what the key point here, the AI and the machine, these are soulless. I'm not saying they're all demons and that they're all horrible individuals that work there, because that's unfair. They're us. There's some of them are sovereign, and you will get a good one on the phone that will help you. I'll give them that as well, Kev. You know, while we're here, this
Yeah,
isn't a slight
absolutely.
on all of them. But listen, this man was at the pit's end, and I was at my wit's end. I'm an intelligent man, and I was getting looped around in this vicious system of demons and soulless entities. And I'm telling them, this man's suffering, and they're there on the phone going, yeah, we can see what's happened. Oh yeah, we can see it's been a yeah. So what can we do? Nothing. I beg your pardon. Is there somebody there who can do? Yeah, there's a manager, and you speak to a manager, and they say, well, you need this person, and you go there and you just leave answer machine messages. There's nobody there. So you send an email because that's traceable, and we're still going around in circles. So then this man here in front of your very eyes came along and put to me this principle of questioning the authority, which I missed. I don't know everything, and I don't proclaim to know everything. We're doing our best, and we're learning stuff and trying to teach it simultaneously and be honourable and X, Y, and Z. So yeah, this man needs some respect for actually coming up with you, because there will be viewers here, Kev, that say, well,
Yeah,
man's rights and man shouldn't be doing this, and we know that, but everybody's in a different situation, and we're one of the families that will cater, if we can, for each and every different situation. And
absolutely.
as Brother Smith has said, and I've said before, the family say each situation is individual, and you can't just
It
get a
is.
template and affix it to every man's,
Listen,
PCN, every man's. It
every
doesn't
case
work like
requires a
that.
different suit. When you're
Mm,
bringing your
Absolutely.
case, you're building your suit and you're tailoring a suit. It's like having a suit made to fit you specifically, and you're tailoring it and you're putting all the information into it. And when you put that into your case and bring it, it solely belongs to you, nobody else. Don't worry about
Yeah,
anybody else's case. Don't worry about what their suit looks like. Worry about yours.
yeah, it's hard.
absolutely, Andy. Well said,
It's
mate.
hard. So I said, listen, I need backup. I'm about to explode here. I says, I'm going around in circles. I'm about to launch a letter before claim to about, a lot of high up and lower agents is what they are, yes. And we put them in the place. We collected.
Agents of agencies.
Oh, and there's
Yeah,
trustees and principal trustees, and there's ministerial and non-ministerial, and there's complaints managers, and we've looked at all of this and everybody, and yeah, we were poised, ready to go, and then Kev came in with this technique of what he's pioneering at the time, because this was some time ago, and we've kept an eye on
yeah,
it, and this guy from YouTube is now benefiting from Kev's help. So respect to
yeah.
you, much love.
Boom.
I
Boom.
yield, Ken. Thank you, Kev. You're a
Thank you. I
true
appreciate it.
agent.
As I
Shining
say,
star, brother. Shining star.
as, as I've got to say, I can't bring his surname into it. One of the brothers that you guys met with me at Sovfest, Graham.
Yeah.
He's 50-50 in this with me. This is stuff we've done together for each other, worked on each other's stuff.
Well,
Graham,
when we're thanking you, we're thanking him and ourselves. We're thanking each
yeah,
other. We're all
absolutely.
together,
No, I
brother.
just said I just want everybody. I'm not. This isn't just me, and I would never take the credit for it. Just me. It's just the hive mind, and Graham and I bounce off each other. We correct each other, put things right. We just work well
Like
together,
Mingay.
and this is where we've ended up. We've taken on a lot more that's going on in the background. We've taken on a mortgage case, which so far, well, we've had no responses whatsoever. They're well out of time, so that's to do. So we're involved in that as well. We've also been doing
Oh, they run and
PCNs.
hide, mate. They run and hide.
Oh,
When you know what to
yeah,
say, they run and hide.
yeah. They, same thing. Asking for, can I see this document? Can I see that? Have you got this? I want to see the promissory note. Can you show us that? Oh, run away. Let's not speak to them. Well, tacit acquiescence and all the rest, and the way
Whom
we
has
worded
ownership
stuff.
of what? That's right.
Yeah. So I'm still not expecting. I'm expecting some backlash from that yet, because I know what the banks are like. But at the moment, we've actually it's perfected, and should we have to go to court, we can go, well, here you are. This is
Where's the
what we've done.
deeds and
They've done
titles?
nothing.
Is
No
it a good deed?
responses.
Has there been a good deed done? I don't think
Yeah.
so.
No, exactly. So at the moment, I'd say we had one phone call from, well, we assume it was somebody from Barclays, pretending to be some sort of DCA. And basically, we said, well, we told you it's got to be in writing. They've phoned us up. They never spoke to us again.
We're doing selling.
That was it.
I've got Windows, thank you. I don't need any more.
Yeah.
Anyway,
They're all
So,
Windows salesmen. All of them are
yeah,
Windows salesmen trying to get into your
yeah.
purse, mate. Simple as that.
So, it's not just DWP. The DWP has been the main thing, and it's the thing that we've succeeded with. As I say, I don't think anybody needs to change anything. You're very welcome to change. You're very welcome to use whatever you want to use from what we'll put out there, and make it more personal. But the way we've done it is now it is literally send letter one. If you receive letter two, you send this letter, and that should be it. Done. They'll walk away from you. They will walk away from you. You will make it impossible for them to
Because
come
they
near
haven't
you.
got the answers, mate. We've learned how
Yeah,
to play the chess game, and we've learned quickly how to
absolutely.
put them into checkmate. This is what's going on
Yeah.
here.
Get that
This
king
game's
in the
been going on for
corner
a
with the
long
pawn
time.
and the queen.
These
or the Rook
tacit
and the Queen.
agreements are the rules. They're withholding the rules. That's one man hasn't known how to play. We're all stepping up as the person. But now we've learnt the language and we've learnt the rules. And now that we're playing their game better than they are, that's why they're running and hiding. You better believe it.
Yeah, and remember, when you're signing these forms like the EAS 1 for ESA, whatever it is, employment support, like ESA 1, and sometimes you get one called an ESA 50. Now, all you're signing, when you sign, it's only those, I don't know, 6 or 7 little boxes around your signature. That's all you're signing for. And that usually says something like, you agree that we may, very important, we may contact anybody you name on this form, blah, blah, blah. So, yeah, I agree you can contact them. But then I go to those people and I remove their consent for them to give you any information. So you can contact them, but they're not going to give you any information because I've told them not to. And I'm well within my rights to do that.
I don't have the authorization. You haven't given the authorization for anything. So that's how it goes. You're the author of your book. That's how it goes.
Humour me. Why do they want to contact people though? Why are you signing for them to contact people though, or friends, relatives?
Well,
what's going on here?
Medical
former
people.
employers or medical or anything like that, Dave.
Medical.
Okay.
Yeah, they'll ask, you know, who are you under? So you say, well, I'm under Hartness and at that hospital and this person at that hospital. And that. So you put down this info, but
That's private information.
I've got something.
It is private.
Something's just come back to me again. I've had a flashback. Of these systems, like this benefit system. We all know what man is entitled to and rights and etc. But when we go and we sign for something that we should have by rights, yes, we all agree that. So what we do is we go and report back to them when we're on our arses and we're using this national insurance indemnification bollocks. It's all mixed up to this servitude we're in. And then we have to go and say we're on our bums, we need some money, or we've had ill health, or something unexpected has happened, and we're now claiming for support and our rights. And what gets given to us is something that just enables us to tell them, because what I'm angling at is in these forms, there are questions there that don't need to be there. Like, what did you last eat? When did, I've seen some of the examples people say to me, Dave, why are they asking these questions? And I'm like, they're just asking because it's a way of
they're asking them so that to drain your energy. They're absolute energy vampires. It's to wear you down, mate. There's pamphlets and pamphlets and pamphlets you have to fill in to say that, yes, I'm on my arse.
I have to agree, Andy.
It's incredible.
It's
the
mental.
Information. It's not just like, what's your name? Who are you? Where do you live? How much do you need? Or is it which benefit? Why are you claiming for it? And a few questions. It's absolutely... Right. It does drain your energy. You're right, Andy. Some people
it does. It's designed to do that.
Yeah,
it's
that's
designed.
What the system feeds off your energy. It either feeds off your energy directly, or it takes your taxes off you, or it takes your money off you. One way or the other, it saps you of your energy. Simple as that. That's what it's there for.
It's to it's to wind you up. They want to be awkward on the phone, so you lose your rag, and they put the phone down on you. Anything for them to get an excuse not to deal with you. So you have to be smarmy and nice, and you have to laugh about what they say to you and make a big joke of it. Otherwise, you will go
absolutely have fun.
Mental.
Have fun. Have a high heart consciousness. Have a high heart vibration. That's what it's all about. Spread the love. They're only men at the end of the day. They're indoctrinated, vaccinated, and emancipated. What do you say from it all? So anyway, man's been on the road. I've been on the road since 5:30 this morning, boys and girls, and I'm really tired. Darling. So I'm going to take this moment to go and get myself wrapped up in my wanket and say thank you very much, everybody, for listening to us tonight. Thank you, Kev, for what you've done. Thank you for joining me and Dave, and allowing us to help you, to help us, to help everybody. We're getting through it together. It's a beautiful time right now, and I'm proud to be a part of it.
It is great. I'm proud. I'm so pleased we found you because you really clarified direction and the angle you've taken with the trust tech and that. It was a revelation. Now I totally.
It's written in the Revelations. It's written in the KJV. It's in Revelation. It's all written in there. That's where I've learned it from. My own perception of that biblical text. That's where I've learned it from. It takes some doing, but we can all do it.
Yes. And, I say things have changed slightly for the better now. We understand the capacity status, all the rest of it.
Mm-hmm.
That in my opinion, is one of the best things you can do with anybody you want to do it to.
Straight
Correct
away.
your
Absolutely.
standing straight away.
Verification. You need to verify that status and capacity and the relationship that you behold within the trust instantly, and everything shall be fine there and in. So
do it from the off. I mean, or correct it at any point you want along the journey. It doesn't matter.
You can come with the age anytime you wish. Anyway, peace and love and all, and I've got to go.
Cheers, Andy.
All right, brother. On the YouTube, I am I have creator, so you know who I am when I'm chatting. If I get 10 minutes later on before I go to sleep or what. Thank you all, everybody. Peace and love. Respect.
Cheers, Andy.
Thank you.
Love,
big love, brother.
Cheers,
mate.
No, mate.
Thank you. Peace and love. Thank you, brother. Before we move on, the files, right? They will be available to all the .com members through the .com, because that's where they'll get uploaded to. That's why we've built the .com. It's not a bribery or anything. This is the structure and the thing that we're missing. When we do this, we don't really want to be uploading it to places like Facebook pages, and because it's infiltrated with agents of finance companies and shills and disinformation agents, and there's groups in there that steal our work that are in our Facebook trust, because we let majority 80% of applicants in, and there's things going off that then get misconstrued because technologies that are good get used by others that aren't in the full knowledge and capability. This is the warning that's coming out before we do release documents and things and technologies, because or processes against these private corporations' policies, because that's all we are resisting here, a private corporation's policy. And when we get together in private and invest all this time and effort and our heartbeats and actual time and emotions go into this, it's not just a internet copied and pasted, it's a tried and tested. This isn't just any remedy. That advert that comes around at the festive season, this is a handcrafted, emotionally directed, extra special remedy that's equitable. It's like got the pie and the cream and the glitter and everything. This one. It's an extra special, sovereign crafted, lawful remedy fit for all. This is one of those SS, for want of a better bloody abbreviation, or SPs, instead of the supermarket brand, of which I'm trying not to say here, for that this isn't just any, but we'd have an SP one. This is what you would need to, as he said, cognize, but we will upload it to the .com, and it will go to the Facebook domain, and we will release it for all to get for free, and to for the ones
that's what it's there for.
We take no responsibility. There's no liability. This man said he's not giving any advice. He's not encouraging anybody to do anything. Neither is Sovereign Smith. We're having a chat on the public domain as private men discussing our interaction with a civil, legal, corporate system that has removed man's rights by using technologies and instrumentations of a deceptive nature. And when you sign, you're giving them access to that Treasury Direct account, whatever you want to call it, trust account. You're giving the agents access to the account. So let's just think, why don't we go one step further and manage that account ourselves? And that's where ultimately will, for the other viewers that are more advanced, that are screaming at the screen, going, "Oh my days, call yourself or whatever," and think, we acknowledge that our family is at different levels of learning, and some will take a remedy, a quick one, an effective one, that is legal and lawful and within their realms of doing, just to get to that point. And others will be at a different stage, as we've said, status, standing, capacity, and whatever, and they will choose to go further because you're more advanced. So we can't tell anyone what to do, and we are not telling anyone what not to, what to do or what not to do. We're just simply, it's a documentary, it's an education in your existence on this realm of do's and don'ts. If you're civil,
something I've experienced.
This is it. So respect to you, mate. I just wanted to put that in, that we will release it. We are honourable, and just give us time, and it will be there for those.
As I say, I'm happy with what's going on. It's out there. I do need to just run through with you quickly to put the letter, because he got Word docs and ODTs. So, it should cover everybody's. If nobody's not using Word, they should be able to download the ODT, either or. And I just got to show you, it's literally 2 letters of each. That's all you'll need if you're going in from the assessment appointment. It's going to be 2 letters, job done. I'm telling
And
you
as
that
I've
now.
explained, it's not just this isn't just some men sat there trying to defraud the system and not
No,
go to these appointments. As I've said in a roundabout way, this situation, one of them that I've seen, has led to this intelligent situation turning into a nightmare of like it's so simple to sort out. Man can't get to appointment. You know he can't. We've spoken. Now stop stopping his money and send somebody out. Oh well, it's a bit more complicated than that, so it gets frustrating. So the technique that's been applied here, the technique has worked well to say that now the flow of the money will continue because based on the principles applied that are intelligent and articulate and the machine recognizes, it's now checkmated the machine. So even though no humans have got involved, some human will get involved at some point because the machine will not pay out and pay out and pay out. And when that human gets involved, that'll be a good day, but there may be a letter before claim going because unfortunately there is no what would we call it, discretionary powers to call upon the agents and the principal agents, and the trustees. So it's a basic thing where we could run this a lot better ourselves. We really could. Like if we scrapped everything and said we'd start again, and what you need to do is pay £2 a week, and if it actually worked and that, and your money went to where it went, and you saw it improve, you wouldn't mind paying an extra 50p a pound or £2 again to improve it. But when you don't see it improving, and you keep seeing stories of trusts killing and fatal errors and drug overdoses and mix-ups, and the universities are churning out non-efficient graduates and mix. I'm not saying this is happening, but there's a lot of horror stories around if you go and look in the NHS, and not just the NHS, but generally there's good
yeah,
things happening, but it really is like there's the level of they have a service level agreement, they have standards and policies, and but no, they have targets as well and figures and budgets and shareholders, and it's just getting all mixed up, and we're suffering, man. When man suffers like this, it's we have to step in, I'm afraid, and
yeah.
yeah, I'll mute now and let you finish, you carry on, but yeah, the documents will be here soon.
Yeah, I just got slung off. Actually, I've had to come back. I've come back in again. It just Hangouts just shut down. I keep getting a message up, but I'm working at the moment. Um, where was I? Can you remember, Dave?
Yeah, I'm just trying to remember now where you was before we sidetracked.
Yeah, I suddenly just come up as Hangouts and dropped me out.
You started talking about the bank, the mortgages. You went on an angle there at the
Oh
mortgages
yeah,
and
yeah,
the bank.
yeah. Another thing. So we got other things going on in the background, fighting some parking tickets, that sort of thing. Um, Not so successful down. The usual, completely ignored. Proof of claim, proof of authority. Asked HMCTS. I think I've got about 80 grand's worth of invoices in with them. Um, there's all sorts of things. Another little thing I will mention to anybody that's listening now, which is something we've learned very recently, which is amazing. If they do sanction you, what they tend to do is say, "Oh, we need to put you on JSA." But we've discovered what you can do is you go, "No, thank you. I don't want to do that." Do not go onto JSA. Ask them to pay you the appeal rate while you're waiting for your appeal. There is an appeal rate of benefit. They don't tell you this, but there is. So I need to get a few more details about it, but basically, do not consent to go JSA. That's a ruse they use. Once they get you in there, you're buggered. Just say no. Appeal rate.
Yeah, it looks like it's
Uh,
a funneling of management of numbers. It's all a number crunch
yeah,
game, and they get paid and commission. And there was a story about the assessors might be cap in hand with
yeah,
whatever to try and lower the numbers, and the types that they were referring back to work really shouldn't be. You've got a bone marrow disease, and you're being told you can go back to work in a warehouse, and you're like, hang on a minute, how can I pull pallets with a bone marrow disease? I personally
yeah,
know somebody that was told that and got it turned around. This should never have happened in a caring, sovereign, logical, honest, normal morale. ethical
Yeah.
basis. We look after each other. We're caring men. Men
This is
aren't
why I'm
worthless.
here. I'm here to help people.
We don't want to become rich and famous and have golden palaces and stuff.
No, I don't want people going, oh, he did this for me. It's not what it's about. No, I'll help. I'll help where I can, but ultimately, you will be sending your own correspondence.
Yeah, we will. What we'll do is we'll have a forum on the .com, and we'll have a chat in the family on Facebook. But it'll be more intensified on the .com because it's a private domain, and we'll just reinforce and answer questions. And man will support man. It's not about you. You can't answer all of the questions and messages and things that will come of it. You're not responsible for that. We are obliged to go so
Yeah.
far, and then the horse has to drink from the water. Use your name, your mame, and the horses and things, and go and have a drink, and then the support is there. You, like he says, yeah, you will be sending the correspondence.
Yeah, you'll be doing it yourself, basically. You'll be signing it, you'll be sending it. We'll just help where we can, and maybe show you a path or two, or an idea or a thought which you may add to your correspondence. But ultimately, you send this yourself. Obviously, we're in a situation with some of a couple of beneficiaries where we've assumed we've stepped into that role with power of attorney and stuff. But these are particular cases where the people involved are more than ill, beyond ill. So there is a special reason for us doing that. But even then, even the letters I've done for those people, they've signed them and sent them. If you see what I mean, they've personally taken that responsibility. It still worked, but you're still taking it on your own. You're not getting somebody else to do it. You're doing it in your own hand as such. I've just forgot. I remember what I was. Oh, right. I tell you what I was saying. When you sign the ESA 1 or the ESA 50, where you sign, there's usually some little words. You agree we may contact any of the people you've put on here. We may do this, we may do that. Okay, that's brilliant. You go right ahead. So by removing the consent then from my doctor to give them any info, what happens is they go to my doctor and say, oh, is customer of ours, can you send in us medical records? The doctor says, no. You need to get, I haven't got Mr. Phillips's consent to do that. You'll have to speak to him. So then they come onto the phone to me and they say, we need your consent to go to the doctor, to get information from the doctor. And I said, well, where have I agreed to that? And they said, well, when you signed the form. So I had the form in front of me. So I said, so where does it say, if I remove consent from my doctor to give you that information, I'm then obliged to give consent to my doctor so you can get the information. I said, where does it say that where I signed? Because I can't see it. And they went, well, it doesn't say that. It's implied. I said, it can't be implied. I said, you could imply any rule you want after I've signed then, couldn't you? Don't be so ridiculous. So I removed, the doctor is under no obligation to give my details out. They're a private company. They've got no reason to have it. So they have to come to me, and then you just point out, but what I've signed for, the only thing I'm locked to is the words you've written around my signature. If you bring anything else up to me after I've signed and go, oh, by the way, this is one of our rules, you go, it wasn't disclosed, mate. So what are you talking about? If it's not on that ESA 50 form and it's not on the ESA 1 that I sign, then it's not valid. You can tell me you've got all this legislation, but if it wasn't on that form when I signed it, or revealed to me when I signed it, it's null and void, mate. And it's a fact. This is exactly what we do. So there are things you can do. It's so easy to think they've got the power to do all these things, but you've got to understand the words they use. Words like may are very important. We may contact these people means we're not going to bother. That's what it means. We're not going to bother. We haven't got the resources to do that. So
yeah,
you can just
most, yeah, not a lot of the time. You're right, yeah. So
yeah.
what happened with that? So what happened with that doctor and consent and that? Then it was all fine. It got worked out, or
Well, you've got to remember they've had my medical records, but they're not allowed. The DWP have my medical records, but they cannot give them to Maximus or the CHDA, because that's what they call themselves. They can't pass them on to Maximus. Yet Maximus are the ones asking you to go for an assessment.
Name? Maximus, look at him using the name. Look at who my name that, eh?
Oh,
and we shall call it Maximus because it stands for all that is integral. What?
yeah.
Maximus gain, Maximus profit, Maximus harm, Maximus injury, Maximus.
Yeah, not from me.
Wow. Sorry, brother.
I know. So once you sort of understand, you know, the whole private thing, the whole idea that it is complete fraud, even from the DWP, who you assume, like most of us would have, that are a government department. No, they're bloody not. So it's the same thing.
Everything's a company, yeah. They're all
everything's a company. It's all private. You've got no agreements with them. If you have signed an agreement, single signature, it's still void, ab initio, because none of their reps. You're not bound to anything, and it's only what was revealed to you when you sign that is relevant. It doesn't matter if they gave you 20,000 pages of legislation the following day. It's rubbish. You might as well use it for wiping certain areas, because that's what it's worth. Once you start pointing this out, as much as I've had arguments with arguments with so many idiots on the phone. You know, yes, we can do this. No, you can, no, and point it all out to them. And next thing, their tail between their legs, and off they trot. It's just understand what you're signing for, look at what you're signing, and that's it. If any rules, they can't bring a rule in afterwards and go, by the way.
Implied, yeah, you mentioned something really good there. Implied. Oh, it's implied.
Yeah, implied. They say it's implied. And I go, well, it can't be implied. Otherwise, you'd never write any rules, because you'd imply everything.
Mm.
You wouldn't have to write down, we're going to do this, we're going to do that. We're just going to imply whatever we want to it, and you're buggered. Well, it doesn't work like that.
Yeah, that's your tacit taught and adhesion, the world of implied, isn't it? Jeez Louise, you know, sticky contracts all over. But something else I wanted to mention. Whilst I was on a telephone call acting on someone else's behalf, the authorised agent and representative for, you know, for a corporation, basically, and this gentleman on the phone that was on for, let me think, maybe one of the benefits lines, money, let me think, DLA, disability living allowance telephone call. And halfway through it, he started asking me questions, and I answered one. And then the question 2 came. I went, hang on a minute. I went, Stan, do we consent to me answering these, you know, these questions? And oh, well, hang on a minute, let's have a look. And I said to this gentleman on the phone, he goes, what's going on here, pal? I says, I've rang you with wanting some answers, and now I'm answering your questions. I said, can we just find out that what's going on? Because I was in control of the call, but now you, the call handler and agent for, have taken hold of the call, and I don't know if we consent to these questions. So can I just kindly ask, we're not saying no, but whilst I'm acting for on behalf of, then I said, so can you just let me know what's going on? And they says, oh, well, it's to do with duty of care, blah, blah, blah. And I went, so to the one that was there present, I was acting for, I said, do you consent to that, my man? And he's like, yeah, that's all right, Dave. Yeah, I consent to that. I'm like, my man could consent, so yeah, we can now proceed. So I had to stop the call, which is within your rights to do, in kind, you know, without non-vexation and malice, and just go, whoa, hang on, and question them. Say, what's going on here, pal? I was the one leading the call. Now you're leading me. I've noticed that. Very well done. I answered one question, then I put the brakes on. My brain went, what's going on here then? You're now being led. Hey up. And I went, hey up. And the alarm bells rang, and after a split second, they were like, hey up, pal, 1 minute. So do that.
I mean, remember, there's something else. Yeah, questions. I could give you, know, anybody could pull up a list of questions just to ask, just to, you know, spanner in the works value. But it is. And the other thing is, remember, if they're starting to get to you, you can just request, say, look, this is stressing me out now. I want to end the call now because it's affecting my mental health, my stress level, my whatever. And I would like you to send everything you want to know in writing to me. You're perfectly within your rights to do that. So I
Yeah,
don't want to
yeah,
speak
yeah,
to you on the phone. You're too vexatious. You don't listen to what I've got to say. So please now put it in writing. Everything.
yeah. You have them on
Use the
speakerphone.
powers you've got. Stop them. Stop
Have
them
them
where
on
they stand.
speak.
Go, don't do anything. Do not act anything against me under this, that, and the other. You know, as I say, this process can also be tailored and used if people have already been sanctioned. That's the beauty. We go back and we go, well, we know that you've made that decision, and the decision maker or the assessor is not qualified or anything. So therefore, it's null and void. And it's just a fact. So we can retrospectively, we could go back on people that are under sanction at the moment and point this out. And as you know, there is a backdoor way into the tribunal. So as long as you keep within the rules and read their rules,
Oh
you'll be
yeah,
amazed at what you can trip them
oh,
up
there is.
from.
You are quite within your rights to go to HMRCTS, or is it HMCTS? HMCTS.
HMCTS.
Yeah,
Yeah,
go to HMCTS direct yourself, and you can also lodge a complaint and look for forms and stuff on there.
yeah,
If like me, sometimes, believe it or not, I get lost in the actual websites themselves, what I do is I go back to DuckDuckGo and I'll type HMCTS and then I'll type the form I'm looking for, and I'll let the search engine DuckDuckGo or find the web page where HMCTS has that form, because I am sometimes very simple, and I look at these websites and I get lost very easy in them, and I'll suffer from dyslexia and other little bits and bobs, and I'll look there and I'll miss things and I'll look too hard, and because I'm rushed for time sometimes, I've
yeah,
worked out ways to find things straight away rather than having to. And if you're like me and you do get lost and things like that, go back to the start, go back to your search
yeah.
engine, whichever Bing, one that hopefully isn't Google, and then use that for searching and put the form in or the title you want, and it will take you, and you just click it and you're like, oh, hallelujah, I'm here.
Yeah,
And you're in. Hey,
absolutely.
it's useful to go to them. I was going to have to go to them to lodge something, but the mandatory reconsideration was already done, wasn't it? That's a good little thing
Yes.
you can mention. Somebody did. That's a bit of news, isn't it? Eh? There as
Yeah.
well. That was done without question, was it not? Or
Yeah.
something very quick.
Yeah, you have to physically ask for a mandatory reconsideration. It's not just given to you. If they sanction you or make a decision against you, you have to physically put in a request for a mandatory reconsideration. And what we've just discovered is they actually did their own mandatory reconsideration without telling us and reversed their decision. So the day after we'd let a letter go to them correcting status, capacity, standing, blah blah blah, conditional acceptance. We got a letter saying, well, actually, we decided we were wrong all on our own, but they hadn't even told us that process. So yeah, so it was done without it being requested. So something happened in the process, probably the letters we sent, that's made them go, shit, we better relook at this quickly. And they did. And lo and behold, bosh, there's all the money. Now we've got them in a position where, well, we've conditionally accepted, so bring it on. You've not responded. Here we are. And I know what will happen. In fact, the person we're talking about actually did receive a letter very similar to my one about you ask a lot of questions. The only difference was this time they said they didn't say they were sending it to the director of social security, social services, whatever it is, the directorate of SS, it was, yeah, social services, social whatever. It's now a different address. So I'm assuming they've probably changed the name of that organisation to this new name, but it's the same people. And I don't think you'll ever hear another thing. That is my honest opinion. We've already dealt with the 223 issue. We've cleared all that up and spoken to them. I honestly don't think that our beneficiary will hear any more from them. Now, possibly in 2 years' time, they might try it again, and then we just, bosh, you haven't even responded from last year. Here's an invoice. You write to us again. Here's another invoice. Thanks very much. They'll disappear. He'll end up phoning up just like me, and they'll go, got no record of you, mate. Got nobody of your name on the books. problem solved. So,
Yeah,
as I say, it's retroactive as well. You can go back and use all this stuff that we've used. You can go back and challenge a decision that's previously been made on the grounds that it's null and void because whoever made the decision was not qualified to make the decision. Simple.
especially if you've got like what do they call it now in medical terms? Go, it's late at night, but I'll go for prognosis, diagnosis from a consultant orthopedic, somebody that's high up in the ranks of the realms of medicine, and then to have somebody like a Tills lady, whatever, not lady, person, man, or somebody that's lesser qualified, come in and say, actually, you can press a button on a keyboard. So we deem it you're fit for work. So they're putting it on their full public vicarious, all the liabilities that there are. You'd be like,
Yeah,
well, whose liability? Who's telling me? Because here's another one for you that we've mentioned before. If in a fire that assessee that the assessor was assessing had some kind of frame for a walking aid, but that yet they were deemed to be able to go to a desk and hobble across and sit down and be able to do some mandatory whatever, chicken coop type commercial
yeah,
input to get the credits. Um, then if the fire bell rang, would that same body be able to get up unaided and get out in the fire? No, is the answer. With that said,
absolutely.
all of everything falls down on health and safety grounds. I
Yeah,
thank you. It didn't come from me. It just came back to me, but it's
no,
relevant to this chat, Bosh.
yeah. I did a similar thing, Dave. The first time they wrote to me about the assessment, so I phoned them up and said, "Well, are there lifts in the building? Yes, and if there's a fire in the building, how am I meant to get out? Because I'd have been in a wheelchair."
There you
And of
go.
course, they came back and said, "Don't bother going there. It's not suitable." So it's about a lot of it's about knowing the
That's
rules.
liability. They don't care. The soulless machine doesn't care about our or
Yeah, we
their
know, but
health.
if
And
if you
it's
pull them
yeah.
up
So
on the
this is
rules
important.
and say to them, "Well, actually, I'm coming to an appointment with you in 2 weeks. Have you had a health and safety risk assessment done for my visit?"
Mm,
You're
mm.
entitled, and they should have it done for each individual person. So if you just question stuff like that, you've thrown a spanner in the works straight away
Risk
because they
assessment.
can't force you. If you go along and they make you crawl up a set of stairs, like I read the other day to some woman, well, she should never have gone. She just said, "Well, I'm disabled. If there's a fire in the place, you've only got lifts. That's me done." And then they'd
Yeah.
have gone, "Okay, don't bother coming. We'll make other arrangements." It's just about knowing what to ask. And there's so much of it to ask and so much of it they fail on. You cannot but win. Yeah, I tried to buy that yesterday.
Bless him. I need to get
And
him on a
it's,
hangout. We're getting
yeah,
beat.
I was thinking I might contact him myself, see if he's got any copies laying about because I can't get one at the moment.
We've all been classed as illiterate plebs. 69. Well said. I'm scanning the room for the chat because I've left them to again. They are good though. They are educated and polite, courteous, sovereign. Well-to-do. It doesn't. We don't have to keep an eye on this channel's Famaland. They're all they're all on it. They love it.
Yeah,
46
good.
watching. There's 46 watching.
No, that's
23.
really good. Thanks, everybody.
I've got to show you quick before it changes. Me and my numbers 23, 23. It says on my watch.
Uh-oh,
It's a nice
23.
11. Special time, special family, special.
Oh, you've gone quiet, Dave. Oh, hello. Well, I'm still here, people. Although I'm back to talking to myself again. I don't know what's happened there with Dave. I can't see any comments or anything either on what I'm on. I could turn my laptop on, that may help. Um, but I really hope what I've said has made some sense to some of you. Um, and honestly, as quick as we can, we'll get these documents out. You can peruse them, see what you think, but it's all good. So I hope I've been helpful. It's the first time sort of laying it out there to everybody. So I hope I've been as clear as I can. But as I said before, anybody wants to contact me. You can do that. Not a problem. Not a problem. Are you back with us, Dave?
I got kicked out my own hangout. That's
I
not
know. I
right.
just got that happened to me, mate. Too much truth, Dave. You know what's going on, mate? I don't like it.
Yeah, bless you. Thank you all. The room has got many things to say. Universal credit is being rolled out all over Nottingham as of October 2018. So a lot of people will be put at risk. We need man to know his rights, whom he is, signing as, different ways that you've pointed out there. Andy's put a few
Yeah.
ways. Check out how you would sign, what that means, and what an autograph and a signature is, a settlor, a beneficiary, a trustee. Research them. The documents will go on to splspro.com. Kev is available on Facebook, but he's not there. Everyone's, beck and call. He will do his best, I imagine, but we will put a simple, non-complex summarization up of this video, encompassing in a few paragraphs what we aim to accomplish by using these pre-formatted, editable, simple but powerful instruments. What are they? Are they letters or notices, Kev?
Well, they're notice to agent, notice to principal.
Notices, the doctrine of notices, so that, yeah, all right, that's good.
As I say, they're very basic. They could probably, somebody with a bit more knowledge could probably adjust them slightly, maybe. I've put it through the people I know, like yourself, Andy, etc., and I've adjusted where I've been told to adjust. So brilliant. It's working. It's working, but I do think your status, standing, and capacity is so important now. That's what you need to get your heads around what you're doing with that and use it. Use it. But as I say,
they're saying here, brother, that if you go to JSA and sign up for JSA and you're on incapacity, sick, disability and stuff, and you go to JSA, you're saying that you're fit for work, and that's a trap that you said that they go. Is that right? Yeah, because the room's agreeing with that. Yeah.
Yeah, that is right. So that's why you go. No, I want to peel a. No, do not do. If they tell you, we suggest you do that. Absolutely do not do their suggestion. It's nothing but a trap. We know there's alternatives, so you ask for the alternatives. I say appeal rate. I'd like the appeal rate as I'm going to appeal. Thank you very much. It's obviously a little bit less, but it's better than the JSA. So don't do what they tell you. They are trapping you, people. Just say no. I'd rather you did this for me or did that for me. I was in a lucky position where I had some friends around me who I knew I could get by financially with their aid, and then when we won, that's how confident I was, I would pay them back. At the end of the day, it basically, I think I owed £100 over 6 months. It was nothing. It was peanuts. But yeah, don't go down their road. They're trapping you, because as soon as you do the JSA, it's job seekers allowance. They put you on that. That means you're a job seeker and you're available for work. So don't do it.
Just checking the room. I'm just checking. It's a path that you need to express, and it's one of them that's constructed again and contrived, isn't it, to control the flow of man. And it's also mixed up and wrong. I understand everybody's confusion and the how everyone's got a different stance on it, but we can establish a way for many, to be fair, a way for all. But there is one surefire way there, and I will be the first one to say that. Kevin knows it as well, deep down in his heart, what we all should be doing. But getting there and getting that status and capacity and access to, whilst we are all considered military combatants in this land of persons and fictions in the United Kingdom, England, Britain, Anglo, Empire, Commonwealth, and Brexit, EU is playing a very good part here. The EU and the nations, these are all playing parts, and it's truly fantastic. It's not just any one body that we can put a finger on, but there are corporations, there are rules, there are businesses, and there are, well, you've said laws earlier as well. I'd just like to go over and say, not having a go at you, but they're not so much laws, they're policies, statutes,
Yeah,
acts, and codes. And we sometimes say laws, but I will be the first again to just to reiterate at the close of play that we are talking about generally human rights and statutory public side, where we've argued before it isn't always Kevin touched on the bit that he said you can have your foot in both sides of the pool, both sides of the realm. So you can dabble in the public side, but you can be reserved and not anchored, stood fast, anchored. That's
yeah,
dry land, funny man.
yeah,
You can be steadfast on dry land, but you can be tiptoeing in the pool and getting a little bit of go for a bathe, but you get back out again, and that's it. You do your business, you go in and you get back out. It's like a little, not a trick, but it's a way of doing clean business. Clean
yeah,
business. Yeah, yeah. Is that what we're saying here?
yeah. Absolutely, that's exactly what it is. You are the agent for the straw man, the beneficiary for the straw man, whatever you want to call yourself.
Yeah.
So you use the straw man when other people require it, but you make very clear that you are not he or it. You are just the beneficiary of, and you're the entitlements come to you through that construct.
Was
It's
we
very
not having
simple.
was we not having a conversation earlier where I said after you've had some involvement in helping out and applying your knowledge, it isn't that we've taught you, you're teaching us as much as we teaching you. This is for everybody watching. This isn't David teaching Kevin the Padawan Jedi, coming up to be. No, it's a two-way chain, and if somebody's willing and is part of the family, and we give them a chance, and this is what kind of stuff happens. So it's truly fascinating where we can actually end up. And I said to you earlier in that chat, it's only you could never have read a book, or it's very rare that you could have picked up a passage or looked at something on the internet and conceived or cognized or all of it what you've actually done in reality. If you was to put that on paper, it's like we can talk about it on video now because you can now take what you've learned in reality and you would be able to write that down. But if you had it
Yeah,
put down in text first and had to do it in reality, it would be a lot harder. So now you've done it the other
yeah,
way and you've not gone to uni and you've gone out and practiced it and got involved and immersed and used and seen. And it, to some extent, you and the man Graham you've mentioned, Brother Graham, have pioneered and experimented at your own risk and peril, to be fair, not on anybody else, but yourselves and stuff, and you've built it up from that. So that's commendable and respectable, and it's just we've got to share these things because if this was a system where it was honourable and it had it had good intent and it had it had good it was run by men with hearts, then I don't think we'd have this problem. But as it's not run by men with hearts and it's run by dead fictitious corporations, man has a problem because man isn't dead and we have hearts, and when we go with our hearts it doesn't always they kind of crush them. And when that, I don't know how they sleep at night, some of these
no, nor
elite
do I.
I don't know how they sleep, I really do
No,
not. I couldn't do it, I could not
I
move on.
tell them that. I like
What?
to tell them that as well, Dave. I
Yeah,
like saying to them,
don't get angry
"How do
with
you
them,
sleep at night?
don't
Do
swear
you?"
at them. Yeah. Don't
No,
swear and get angry at them,
no.
to just pity them. They need pity and they really do.
Yeah, just say, do you? The times I've said, you really have you checked what you're doing is moral? You do realise that's your duty, just because your boss has told you. If you actually checked what you're doing is moral, because I think you'll find you're committing torts against me, and I'm more than happy to come and discuss that situation with you, should that be what you want. Of course, goes over their heads a lot of them, but
Yeah, man,
you
so
know
hot.
what? You're just because your boss says do this, phone him up and tell him that. Go and check if that's right. Are you allowed? Have you got the power to do that? Because your boss don't care, and he's going to throw you under the bus at the first opportunity. So
Yeah, these
it's
policies
just
that you've
it's
done
just a
well
bit
for
of
the
knowledge,
policy.
mate.
Yeah, but you
But
can
you
now
have to
apply.
be nice.
Look, I said earlier that was my point. This phone call, yeah, you have to be nice and sovereign. Sorry to cut you
Yeah.
off. I'm a little shit sometimes like this.
No, that's all right, mate. No
You know,
worries.
like it's going again. I'm nearly losing it. Yes, I mentioned. I said the brother John Harris made some decisions regarding the birth certificate. Stop pointing. And
That's right.
and I says, now you can see that this instrumentation is not so much a devil's curse as we you know, first it was portrayed as, don't touch it, send it back, this, that, the other. What John Harris did, what others were saying, America, New Zealand, you know, all of the speakers and others that we looked at. Then what Steve McRae was doing. Then we had like Dave Witcher on one of the realms talking about things in a public realm, and we was like, hang on a minute, Kev, I said to you earlier, this, now you can see how it is the trustee, beneficiary, executor, testator, and many things all in one at the same
Yeah,
time. It's an evolving, alive.
yeah,
It's not alive, but it's a thing that can change. It's interchangeable, and you can be many things and do it well. So I could be the settlor and the administrator and the beneficiary of a trust, you see. So there you go. But not just any trust, a certain type of trust, not these trusts that the government form that they put us in, that are public statutory ones that you don't need to know that you're in to be in. And that's the unconscionable ones that we will help you fight to get out of to some extent. Yeah.
yeah,
Thank you.
exactly.
You
You
can see
know,
all that now. That's well done. That's credit to you because that's hard. That's real hard.
yeah, as I say, I mean, we've spent plenty of time. I mean, this is something I've been involved. I mean, many years ago, I'm talking about, how long have I been with Anne now? 15, 17, 20 plus years ago, I was able to get rid of bailiffs then, knowing what I knew. Now, obviously, they've upped their game now. But, you know, I knew a little bit about law. Then we sort of discovered a lot of stuff about common law, freeman on the land. We've all been through that road.
Yeah, true. Right.
Most of us have come through that road and
Yeah.
realised, hang on, that's not working. That's not working. Um, so we started getting involved in basically, okay, so let's play it inside the rules. That's how it started. Then we found SPLs, which just took us to a whole nother level, which we're still, obviously, we're all learning. I don't know everything.
No, I don't.
No, I certainly don't. But there are certain areas I have knowledge of, personal. As I say, that's why it's taken a while to release this. We've done this off our own backs, used it on ourselves. So no, we're not trying to put anybody else at risk. We've done this ourselves on ourselves to
Yeah.
prove it.
So, yeah,
So
that's it.
there's no
And
harm to anybody
it's
else.
first-hand knowledge,
Yeah,
first-hand knowledge that we are reporters, all right? We are like self-appointed sovereign reporters then. We're just reporting back our interaction in a lawful, civil, you know, legal way. This is freedom of speech, by the way, for all those, you know, that we do get some aggressors and so forth that come across and wonder why we have these topics and discussion, and they can't see the harm being done to man, and they think that taxes and the system as it is fine and everything's normal and that we're all honourable and it's just us, you know, how dare we say we're sovereign when only the Queen can be sovereign. And it's, you know, we live in a realm where, you know, fast approaching, man is learning though. I am happy to say I could cry again sometimes on some of the conversations I'm having that I'm privileged to have, the hangout chats, requests, adding Santos on Skype, adding this man Kevin, learning from Kevin. When I get to learn something, that's more payment and happiness than I've, you know, I thought Technics 1210s and Gem and CD mixes and Pioneers and Behringer mixes. It's so many, you know, fairs and pan
yeah,
with a
fair to
dogs.
pain.
You know what I mean? And you know what I mean? He's having a giraffe, mate. You know, materialistic gain and that. It's nothing. I'll tell you now. When you help somebody, the feeling that you get is immeasurable. When you help a lot of people, it's even more. And that is payment enough. But I've helped enough. And what I want to do is, I'm not going to stop, but what I'm saying is to get others up to speed and to help and to
Yeah,
endorse it and to spread it is
yeah,
just the next logical step. It doesn't involve money. It involves whoever it is that wants to get better at whatever the civil legal issues or community work, project work, educating the younglings that we have, you know, and getting them out of these. We've got a lot of work to do, but it starts with, I can't endorse you enough, you know, standing up, having the courage. It's not easy to speak. It's not easy to do any kind of presentation. It's not easy to stand up and be counted, to represent, and to actually come and put your face on video, show bits of your house. People
yeah,
look behind you, Kev, see what paintings you've got. It's incredible. You come out and give them the most cutting edge versions of law and, you know, argumentation that will save your very essence and soul from the Beelzebub demon of the
Yeah.
corpse himself. And they go, but you haven't done your washing up, though. I'm like, come on, please.
Yeah. but
Stop
there's a,
looking
yeah.
around. Respect to
For
you.
God's
So,
sake.
yeah, it's you know, each one, and this is where it comes now. You know, these lawyers that take all this money and that, they are committing, and we've pointed it out. We're not telling fibs. We're not trying to trick you to give us our money with your money. You know, and we've seen what happens in history in the past and how effective or ineffective it is. And you know,
Yeah.
Theresa May's just done a speech. I was informed by the website tech engineer
Oh,
G-Star. This will be credible. Go on, what's up?
it's all right. I'm just letting a puppy in.
All right. It will be credible that Theresa May's speech that she's done recently said that our courts are uncorruptible. I, I will find it out, you know, and
Oh,
that's
is
it.
it any
If these
more? Is it any more corruptible?
Yeah, but this is the woman that comes out and addresses the people of the United Kingdom, and it's like, yeah, they live in a realm and they're in an office and they're paid to do a job, and we understand she will never come out and do what's right, you know, and the Queen is doing her role, everybody's doing their role, but we have a role to play, and it's you know, man, if man's affected, the working man. And you're honourable. We know you're honourable. This is why we take the time because you are us and we are you. We will take the time. Like it's too late now. I've got stuff to do tomorrow. Appointments. You have, Kev. Andy has. He's had to bail out. But you know, we love you, and we got to give you certain bits that others haven't, and let you know how we do it and why and when. And such as these ID cards, the idea of that, they're not perfect yet, but I want you to play with
Yeah.
them. The idea is to get it out there and thumbprints and rather than this and autographs and we're moving you along, whether you like it or not. By repetition, we will move you along. You continue
Yes.
to watch us and hang around with us. You will learn more and more, and it's at your own choosing as well. But with respect to you, Kev, again, thank you very much, brother. Really,
No,
to you, mate.
thanks for giving me. I mean, thanks for the admin stuff. You know, being brought into that. That was a real honour for me. That sort of validated that you could all see I did know something. um, and I'm enjoying that to the degree that I get involved. I mean, looking at the posts and that, I might not interact too much with words. It all depends. Do I know enough about the subject, etc., etc. If I don't, I tend to sit back because there are so many great brains on this site that you can learn stuff just reading comments. It's brilliant. You know, I didn't know that. I didn't know that. I'm learning stuff every single day, and I'll continue to learn. And I will go and do the Master Guild course. That is, you know, my intention. I
You're
will
on
do
it
it all.
now, but you're already on it now by applying your application to help others is accelerating your learning by your applied application to give what you know to in your time that you may have. Like I've utilized the 6 months that I've opted out from that 26.5 grand job for the slave corporation, and I've endorsed it in the websites and the .com and Facebook and the branding and seminar, whatever, you know, and going to York and that. And I've took time out to focus on something which is part of the, you know, the sacred contract. Now I'm going to get back into a little bit of servitude, albeit with a, you know, major international whatever corpse, but I'll use my corpse wisely now. Laird, David,
Absolutely.
Anita will be submitted and not me, and liabilities and stuff will be this time done differently. But even so,
Yeah.
none of us should be in this boat, and it does frustrate me. I can't reiterate it enough. It does
Yeah.
frustrate me, and it isn't right, and it isn't our doing. But there is a gang out there, everyone, you know, and it's bigger than us, and it has more
Yeah.
resources than us. And we can shout all we want, and we can try and go to a court and bring down the whole system, but you can't bring down the whole system in one court case. I'm afraid
No.
you just create a commotion, and the anger has got to be lost. We have got a brain.
Yes.
Some of you lot out there are so incredibly intelligent. You make the ones that are like they're appointed officially and that speak in the offices look shambolic. I could amass if I was somebody says, Dave, quick, there's a state of emergency, and for some reason I was asked to amass 50 of my closest, you know, knowledgeable media type friends, family, extended, whatever, from YouTube and the trust, I would have no problem amassing 50 in various areas to keep a country running and the backbone, going. It wouldn't be a problem. So why we put up with this shambolic facade everywhere else? And then when we hear that man's kids, blood, offspring, fruit of your labours is committing suicide, that's where we have to put the extra effort in, isn't it? The extra effort comes when the bloodline, there's power in the blood, and they know there's power in the blood. And when the blood quits living, it just simply gets recycled. The spirit, we're deep guys. We talked a lot at that seminar and conference, and we talked about life. We talked about essence, and there's more to this than money and signatures, isn't there, brother?
Yeah, absolutely. It's nothing to do with money for me. It's all about helping people to put these wrongs that are being forced on them right. That's all it's about. If another person can get what they're entitled to, then I've succeeded. That's what it's about. It's not about recognition. It's not about fame. I don't want, not interested in my name being bandied around. That's not what it's about.
No, it's about
Hence why we've walked it ourselves.
Yeah, it's commendable what you've done there, and others can learn to do this. I used to DJ, and I couldn't be a worse example. 4 years in the, I know I'm not specifically your average type, but still, I've applied myself. Kev's applying himself, Andy's applying himself. Application, right? You've been taught something, and it's all wrong and bad. It won't take you that long to reprogram yourself. After 30, maximum 30 repetitions of something, it will be in your conscious and your subconscious.
Yeah.
If you really apply to some of these, you said Masters Gold Course Guild and that, but we're all on an educate like the Alpha course from the church. Remember, we've all travelled down the road and seen them signposts outside the house of God.
Yeah,
God, yeah, the churches, and it's like, get yourself on the Alpha, but you're on it already. You are. I've read them, and I thought, yeah, you're actually right on that one. Bang on.
Yeah.
But you're not teaching us right. We're being deceived, and we're believing it's, Facebook is not the internet. This is it.
No.
Facebook is not. That's why we have a .com. That's why we lead you away from Facebook. Facebook isn't designed for honesty and honorability, and it's what's been flooded with. And I've got evil in me. I don't mind telling you. I said the other day, I'm a Mason. Yeah, I'm born in May. I am a son of May. Let's play on that. I'm going to play on the phonics of everything that man can to belittle them, like they belittle our, essence and life. But the Facebook is not the entity and the be all and end all. YouTube isn't. I want to meet more engineers.
Hello, where have you gone again? David.
Oh no.
Oh, there you are. You're back.
Yeah, I'd like to meet others that have got resources, garages, lands, ideas, and want to crack on and do what's right for man. So, very intelligent, very articulate, and some of this is very simple, and you lot will pick it up in no time, and you are already.
You really will.
The interaction and the support is being formed. I'm sorry that it hasn't been formed already, and that we don't have a greater cognizance of the structure. And anybody that wants to be accelerated, then all I can say is when you help others, and if you are fortunate to have the time, or you can manage your life and do something, then it will help you along. It really will. And it's the best reward you can get. You will make mistakes.
It's brilliant.
It is confusing. There are a lot of numbers and 3-letter abbreviations, and it's just as this man's pointed out, it isn't always about the trust technology and knowing all of that inside and out, because Kev doesn't know that inside and out, but he's aware of it, and he's aware of a lot of it, and he's got a sufficient amount of the knowledge now to manage that effectively to the levels that he wants. He hasn't gone and claimed ownership and outright control of estates, but he's been responsible for the public corporate estates of others and managed them effectively to get to a civil legal, what would we call it? A civil legal ending, remedy, not recourse.
Conclusion.
Conclusion, settlement, agreement. Yes, and you've done that well and effectively, and that to you is a credit. It really is. And if others are going to do this in some years, it's tables are turning. I tell proper bow.
Yeah, it is, mate. As I say, and the more people, even if you just start looking at letters people have sent, even if they're redacted, look at them, look at the wording. It's very important. Get yourself a cheap dictionary, but look at the words you're using and the words that are being written to you. And once you'll suddenly discover that when you get a letter, you'll read that letter in a whole different light as you normally would. It will mean something completely different. You'll cognize it as you're reading it, and you'll be able to pick out and go, well, that word means that. So that means they're actually not going to do that. And it's just a revelation, slowly but surely. And then you start to learn to use those words in the same context and put it back on these people.
I need to be rude again. So these injections where they say, yes, the babies, they need inoculating and injecting because there's all these diseases. And we look at the harm that possibly could be maybe caused by, remember, we went to Alder Hey, we've looked into quite a lot previously, and we're aware of allegations and evidence, some kind of damning evidence that's been performed in lab rats and certain mercury preservatives in these. And I won't go on any further. So, we are aware of. I've lost myself. I don't mind saying it. Why was it going on like that? Why did it come in with? What were you just saying? Remind what you
Don't ask me.
No, what was you just saying, Kev? Remind me.
I was just saying about understanding the words as you use them and using them in letters. Reading other people's letters, listen to how they've worded it, because people that are having successes are using certain words.
Yes,
grammar is what we were getting
injections. I was injected. Lots of us were injected. I was born 78, as you know. So we label ourselves as weird with the ADHD or Asperger's or autistic, spastic, and things that have gone around in the times, and further things. That thalidomide was that it came out. It was awful. Side effects of such things as. But we have lost, and man, I've noticed a lot of very clever, as I've just said to you previously. So we're not backpedaling, but at the same time, the grammar is shocking. Dyslexia is rife. I don't think man has the capability to write letters and to format in. And it's taken me, since I was 16 and I left school, 15-ish, and left school early-ish a bit. I lost that. I don't mind telling you, and most of man will have lost it. So then, when you need to articulate something, most of us can't even string together a proper sentence, and I don't mind admitting that is still me. To some extent, it's atrocious for a 41-year-old man. I'll admit it. So you don't have to feel bad, not you, Kev, as well, but the viewers and listeners, that man has lost that ability, that intelligence. We've slowly got quite thick, to be fair. We made out we was educated, but if you haven't kept it, like, use it or lose it is a very good rule of thumb, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. As I say, and there's nothing better than, if you're able to form a letter out of your own words, understand the words you're using, understand the power that those words can have at the opposite end, at your target end. It really makes a difference. But as I say, it's also amazing. You'll get a letter will come through the door, and all of a sudden, you won't read it like you would normally read it. Dear so and so, we would like to offer you this, that, and the other. We may this, that. You'll read it, and you will cognize it instantly. Hang on. This is nonsense, or they're trying to do this. It just comes into view, and it's just simple.
It's practice.
You don't have to go and we're not talking about huge words, going to learn a whole new vocabulary. Just go and have a look at the actual meanings of words we use every day.
And also the format, red boxes, final notice, final demand, underlined, big red letters, capitals, all that layout, corruption of what in dogma, glossa, corruption of text, as you've mentioned, boxes earlier. You may be breaking the law. You may be breaking the law if you are watching a TV without a license. Live broadcast without a. We can come between 9 a.m. and 9 p.m. We have agents in your area. You must contact us now. Whoa, hang on a minute. You're in my private house.
What are you doing?
You trying to contract me, right?
Well, one of the other guys I've been helping recently, Mike. I mean, they sent us. Oh no, sorry, it was another friend of mine. Chris had got a letter from the council, and it was via a solicitor. It was to do with the party wall thing. Anyway, he gave me the letter to look at. I read it, and I looked on the back where he's meant to make the responses. And of course, all the areas he wants to make responses in are four corners. They're boxes. So I said, don't fill any of that in, mate. It doesn't mean anything. It means you're dead. You write in there. It's pointless. Explained it to him. You know, but it's stuff like that. You can turn stuff over and you'll look immediately and go, well, they want me to write me in that box there. And if I write in that box there, it actually means I'm dead. So anything I write doesn't mean anything.
Oh, do
So
you
you
know, I
point this
put
out to these people. You go,
man,
well,
there's
hang
a
on, you want me to
scene.
sign this? You want me to do that? But it's in a box. I understand the four corner rule, mate. And they go, what? You go, yeah, I understand the four corner rule. You do understand I'm living. I'm not dead. And they run away.
No,
Oh my
that's
God.
yeah,
I don't want to
well,
know.
yeah, but
So,
when you say that, sometimes they often think that we're a bit scatoony loony because we say, well, and they think, well, I can see that you're living. Why wouldn't they not? They don't think of it as an illegal
no,
sense. Some of them don't
no.
actually know, as harsh as it is to say. And some of them aren't legally trained. It's like, hang on, we've
What's,
referenced
yeah.
before the Northamptonshire County Court Business Bulk Handling Centre. I finally can say it in one go correctly. There are no courts and nobody legally trained there. What is it called again?
Yeah,
Northamptonshire County Court Business Bulk Handling Centre. It's got the
yeah.
name court and business in it,
And
and there's
business in
nobody
it.
legally trained there, and there are no courts. It's a bit like the banks again, isn't it? Where they trick us with the. We've woken up. We
Yeah,
truly have. We truly have.
that's it.
Wow.
It's trickery. Once you know, well, hang on then. Okay, well, let's show me some authority. You know, once you start doing stuff like that, or start pulling their rule book apart and using it, they soon run away. It's
What
ever
we
so simple, and you're doing
yeah.
nothing wrong.
You know what we've got is a lot of artillery. We are, like I said, injected and given all these additives and food colorants and programmed. And to be fair, we've gone renegade on the system. We're using the system. The system's watching us. Oh, we don't doubt that. Which is why we're trying to do what we're doing and release what we're doing, because we know we need to get as much out as fast as we can. Because when you look around, man is in real big trouble, and we need all the help we can get. And with shining stars like this man, Sovereign Smith, the admins, you guys watching, so all the subscribers, we love you for your sharing, your caring, what you've done, and how you
Yeah,
are. We feel the responsibility, and we feel, the expectation. It's not right to know something and not be able to give the others remedy and give it on. But if we haven't tested it out, we're not like the others that come out and go, oh, we've got this. We respect you enough not to get you in harm's way. And we may make errors and omissions because we're just men, but we're not robot perfect, but we are also considerate, aren't we? And we're tactful.
yeah,
But we are aware we're being watched, monitored, and we are regular under quite a lot of attack, to be fair. So thank
yeah,
you all. Thank you to this man, Andy, everybody, the admins. I can't say it enough. It is what you make of it. Anything could happen at any time. You need to have that knowledge. Man needs to have alternative options. We
yeah,
can't go to the ones that cause the problem and suppress us and sanction us and then go, oh, but please, can I do this now? No, actually, we need to be saying enough's enough. This relationship is dead. It's sunk. As for, and what did you say earlier? You said you're wrecked. This relationship is shipwrecked. Yeah.
yeah,
Cancelled,
yeah,
null and void. It's on the rocks. We're on
yeah.
the
It's
rocks,
flotsam.
everybody.
It's flotsam or jetsam. That's what it
Finished.
is. It's
And then
derelict. It's
a new
yeah,
way, a purity is coming. I swear not. A purity of they're being born now. Our brothers and sisters, our
yeah,
kin, awake already. There's
yeah,
cognizance in many places. I have got hope. I know it's not just on us. It's on a great many of them watching now with these channels, with their movements. The Facebook groups. I hate saying it, but Facebook. Thank you, actually, Mark Zuckerberg, personally, to the universe, from me to Mark Zuckerberg, because did find this crazy mission in 2015 on Facebook, and I did use that network and still am against itself to do other stuff. While it watches me, we watch it. And we
yeah,
are many, I thought Anonymous was the best thing since sliced bread. They're just a distraction, I think, and,
oh, yeah.
to what's going off. They haven't mentioned any of this, to be fair, and I don't think they ever will. To the owners of
No,
Anonymous, there you go. David Icke has brushed up on it. He's getting close. I'm mixed emotions about that man, but he's done good, but he hasn't done enough, in the right areas. But we're on it.
no.
Man has got a chance. Our kin has got a chance, and with what we're doing here, it's honourable. It's not criminal. It's an educational, reporting, freedom of speech way, because we have a duty and an obligation to speak out and try and help. And again, respect and credit to you, brother, for what you've done. I can't say it enough,
No,
because this is what we need. It really is.
yeah, as I say, we wouldn't put any theories out there for anybody to try. We've done this ourselves so that we can turn around and do what I'm doing now and say, we've done this, it's worked. We've done it on ourselves. We've walked the walk, we've talked the talk. Here we are with our results. That's why it's taken a little bit of time to come out. I could have thrown this out, or we could have thrown this out. I must just say, please remember, it's not just me. Graham's
I know,
involved in it.
no, no, we're not claiming. We are the ones, we are the messengers, all right. We just bring the message and then let them
Yeah,
take from it what they want. We just bring the message and that's it. Our job's done. They know that.
yeah, yeah. I
Respectfully,
just
it's a
want
great
people to
place
know
to respect. Yeah,
Graham
great.
deserves as much. You
Yeah.
know, he deserves just as much. I know he wants to sit back a bit, and quite rightly, he's got a lot of things going on.
No, we love you,
So
Graham. I've met Graham. Tell him I love him.
yeah,
Give him a kiss on his forehead from me.
I will.
That's from Dave. All right.
But yeah, just to quickly say again, anybody on here that wasn't listening earlier, please, it doesn't matter what your issue is with the DWP. If you would like to speak to me, then send me a friend request. Do it through SPL's Messenger. I think my profile's open to everybody. If it's not, I will make it open,
I'll
and
look on the
I will.
.com as well. Yeah, we'll get you logged in on the .com and everything. We'll set a forum up there where we can go a bit more in depth. And if I need to do
Yeah,
a screen walkthrough or something with a few, because the .com we've made quite easy to navigate in that. But I appreciate it's different to Facebook. And again, the cognizance of a new
yeah,
platform and different colors and layout is a bit like,
yeah,
whoa. And it takes focus, brothers, sisters a bit. But yeah, you can be on both. I'd like you to be featured
yeah.
on
That's
both
fine.
for obvious reasons, and not that you're a cash cow out, but we've got a duty, honourability. We can share more and be more concise in other
Yeah,
places, and yeah, you'll get overloaded otherwise. If we can, rather than you repeat, right? Because what I do, and I'll tell you now, I repeat. That's why I make videos. It wasn't to become an image or an icon. It was I got tired and I thought, if you make a video, you can just go watch this, please,
yeah,
and then come back to me, and then it saves me time. So you're going to have
yeah.
to do the same, I'm afraid. This
Okay.
this video, we can make a video, or you'll just write your paragraphs down, and then we'll
Yeah,
put it in the .com, and you won't have to be on hand then because your and Graham's and whoever's technique there that we've got will be easy enough to cognize and take away without speaking to you physically. But until we
yeah,
get to that stage, anybody that wants to chat will have to manage until we get to that
yeah.
stage.
We'll get
So,
there.
yeah, yeah.
But you
Soon.
know, I'm just saying, giving them anybody that didn't hear me earlier, please, if you've got any concerns, or you're in a situation, or you're in a tight a bit of a bind, you're not sure where to turn, give me a shout, and I will do what I can
Yeah,
for
no.
you or with you. So just remember that, people. I am there. I will get round to. Should it go mental, it'll just be done on the basis of first message in onwards. But do not hesitate to contact me. And if you want to ask me anything, if you want to point anything out to me, or please feel free. I'm here for everybody, and until we get a proper system sorted out, if that's the only way it's got to be, then that's the way I'll deal with it. But don't be shy to come forward and ask me. I'm more than happy to impart what I can upon you, people.
We will get to the stage. We will get to the stage where we have counsellors and like an actual 24/7
Yeah,
Skype team and stuff. Eventually, once we've established a trust fund, and it depends how far we get with certain private ventures at the moment, but we are looking to. You've seen the videos and stuff and what we're doing as campaigns and ideas going off now, and we are trusted and honourable, steadfast, delivering time after time. So. We will get to a stage where we'll have counselling available in my
yeah,
dreams, in our aspirations. We've talked, and this is why we want to continue to develop and grow and build something for man that is
yeah,
built by you, designed by you, requested by you, run by you, and owned by you. So therefore, it takes the corporations out of it, and therefore, once man's back in control, we'll see that it will be just like in the eons previously. We did rather well when we didn't have go-vern-ment, which is go
yeah,
green. Vern is green in Italian, I've noticed.
yeah,
Whilst I've been doing my and Elohim Ra, brother, I love him so much. I could kiss him. If ever I meet him, I will give him a kiss as well. YouTube, brother Elohim Ra, Stowe Villa. He said, he said some things about. He just makes me laugh. But I took a bit from him. But yeah, it's. It's a good feeling. We've got a lot of promotions, and you know, man's getting there. Man is learning, and I come stumbling across some things that I didn't ever think I'd see, and it's like, wow, homegrown
Yeah.
talent. You know, I don't know if you've seen him, but that Stovilo Elohim, he's just like a Southern American, and in one of his videos, he says, bless his little socks, he says, look, I know you lot, you don't like me when I speak to you in the street. You don't talk to me. You look down. You don't think I'm normal. And he says loads of like negative things about him. So like you said earlier about being a wreck and that and whatever. And I said, no, you're not. And he was like, he says, but I know you like these videos because somebody watching them. He says, and he says, I know what I know, and I know you like to know what I know. So you might not you speak to me in the street, and I'm like, oh, people like that, you know. And what he comes out with though, it's like comparable to what we know. And he's just
Yeah.
a bloke in America that's done a bit of research, and you know, it's just truly it is incredible. So nobody should ever give up. There are times where the guys we work with, to wrap up as well, a bit of good news, even though a good feeling, even though it's bad related. Those that are feeling on giving up, Kev, things get turned around out of nowhere, don't they? You can see that
Absolutely.
everything's. We're working with guys now and men, brothers and sisters that feel like that have felt like ending it, and we've had to be wary of this when you offer support, but we've had to counsel man in his moments of need, in tears, you know, not so much suicidal, but we wits end pain, levels of pain that are unbearable. And if you care
Yeah.
for somebody and you see them like that, it takes a tremendous toll on you, you know,
It's
and
hard.
isn't it, Kev? You know, but
It's
and
hard to
we
witness it. It's hard
it
to
can turn
witness. It's
around,
hard
it
to be
can't it?
sitting in the
Yeah.
room. But
It
on
turns
that
around though. Look at
subject,
it. Look how quick it's turned around for somebody we know. It's like Christmas now. After two
oh my
weeks of
God,
pure, you know, it's like
it's
wow.
been
So we hang in there.
it's
We need you to know to hang in there and to have the faith, because if you do, 90% of the time, somebody will get you through it, if not yourself. Yeah,
yeah,
go on.
we had a gift turn up for this gentleman yesterday, didn't we? After his little
Mm,
visit to a practice, and that was a gift. And then today,
yeah,
out of the blue, I got asked to sit in on a meeting um, where we were all ready for the demons to walk in the door, and they walked in the door, and we sort of treated them as demons, and it turned out they were two fucking angels.
yeah.
Unbelievable what happened today. It's a
See,
big,
so it's not all about the system and the establishment is bad and wrong. For those that are in it and those
yeah,
that watch it and agents, we actually promote when we see good, and those officers, constables, whatever, we do promote. We're not all about like, you know, the system. And when we see that we found a sovereign within the system, well, somebody that's got a soul, you know, we promote that, don't we, Kev?
yeah.
And that
They were,
happened again, yeah, today. So that's happened.
oh,
So
it was amazing. I mean, it was from these guys we thought were sort of trying to gather info. Absolutely not. They'd come bearing huge amounts of gifts. We might not physically have them in our hands at the moment, but believe me, what was given to us today by these officials from
yeah.
a council was just incredible. Um, as I say, it will all get shared with everybody in time. But what they came through with and the things they started offering our beneficiary were like, I had to keep picking my jaw up off the floor. I was like, the last 48 hours, as this game has completely reversed and gone the other way from how it was. So you just got to keep at it and you don't let it go and hang on to your principles, hang on to the rules, and it will pay off. They can't ignore you forever.
And to those,
Uh, uh,
listen, and to those, thank you. I'm sorry to interject, but I'm really too
no, no
tight
worries, mate.
for time, and it's gone past 12
Yeah,
now. It's
yeah,
ridiculous.
that's sweet, mate.
Those that I've heard stories, and I'm being told, and I've heard myself on the radio that others have passed away whilst fighting for claims, and then the family are left there like going, all right, yeah, whatever, and you know, we're sorting this out or what, and they're like, well. The establishment turns around and says, or the corporations, not the establishment, the corporation turn around and says, well, hasn't your mum or dad or whatever, sister, brother, whoever it is that you're caring for passed away? And they're like, yeah, they have. And they're like, well, they don't need the money now, do they? So we're not
Yeah,
paying them. What?
So so if you're elderly, okay, or you've got elderly relatives and you are in a particular bind, I will give it to you first-hand knowledge that the United Kingdom's BBC radio network shared a story about an elderly lady who's passed away. And now the mum was on saying, so about these few grand and that, what we're doing. And she told the radio reporter that this isn't right. It was on like You and Yours or something, one of these shows.
Yeah.
And I'm like, are you shitting me? What? So they on purposely drag their heels, it seems, because they know they're elderly. And when they die, they don't pay out. So that's another bit saved. Wow.
Yeah.
I'll leave you with that. That's like my final thought of
Yeah.
who is in control of things and how they act.
Exactly. Yeah.
What? So you want it paying? Yes, yes, because it's backdated and it's due. Yeah, but they're dead. They're dead. We thought you didn't want it now. Wow, that's a kick
Yeah.
in
You
the nuts.
didn't. Yeah. You don't need it now. They've passed away. But well, no, it's still owed. They passed away. You owed it when they passed away. So let's have it.
You couldn't make it
But
up, So
you couldn't, mate. Some of the shit that's going on, mate. You really couldn't write it. You couldn't. It's unbelievable, and that's what you've got to get over the anger. That was my first reaction when everything became clear. Was the sheer anger of what was being done to me. You have to get that out of you. You cannot deal with any of this in anger. It will bite you in the arse every time. You have to go in with, as much as it's paining you, you have to go in and sort of kiss a bit of art. Not necessarily kiss arse, but be very polite. And it's hard when you just want to go, I want to climb down the phone and put a knife in your eye. Sorry, it's a bit graphic, but this is what happens, and it's designed to screw you up, people. The whole system,
it is.
Even from the waiting music, when you sit bloody green sleeves on a DWP. So, well, I'll play some recordings sometimes where I've made up my own words to the song while I've been waiting that long, and you see I hope they're listening because there's some of the words I put in there and what I call them. Be really funny, but that's how you got to deal with it. Make it a big joke.
Can this work for those that are in America, Australia, Canada, New Zealand, and other such non-UK continents, Kev? Because we have an international family.
Yeah.
This principle and law and system we're talking about. I've just had a click there because I'm looking at there's 34 still watching. It's a popular topic. They have shared it well as well. So this will be international. So I haven't seen every question. I have skimmed through. Thank you, subscribers, for your interaction and what you've said there.
Thanks, people.
We'll get back to this, but international, what would you say there?
I would certainly think a lot of it is applicable, especially if ultimately they've had anything to do with England, which a lot of these places have. It's our constitution, our system that's installed.
Yeah, so but the signing and the benefit system, like if it's like, as we have it, it should be pretty much transferable across the principles and processes, just not when we've quoted, because we've had it the other way and we've had to learn off America. So if we can teach America, Australia, New Zealand a little bit to help them quickly get ahead, they can't quote our bits that we've quoted, like Dun and Bradstreet registered number. They're going to have to find out their own corporation numbers where they're registered. They're going to have to find out all of the particulars pertaining to that corporation and who is what and whatever. They know the benefit, trustee and settlor relationship and all of that from us. But what they'll have to do is a little bit of transference. So these documents, if you are on international waters, we have a duty and a responsibility. You can't just pick these up, unfortunately, for now, until you send them us back. If you are going to use these and you want to look at them and look at the verbiage, you're welcome to, and take them to Australia, Canada, New Zealand, America, and do them so they fit the state or county or country landmass where you are, and send them us back. I'll personally upload them and share them for you, so anybody from that in future will have that ready and won't have to cross correlate, because that's half of the problem, because we have international family and they've done it in such a way. It's like the languages, we all speak different tongue, so they control the data and the flow. So much as we have successes over here, it's not applicable over there, wherever there is.
No, or we need to have a look at what they're, maybe UCC for the States, maybe you would be able to implement that correctly. But I think the gist of I think how they all operate is probably the same. They've probably got You know, the Americans, for instance, I'm just picking out America because it's easy. I imagine Australia's the same. They've all going to have similar system to ours. So they're probably all working in the same way. The government isn't actually the government. The agents have got nothing to do with you. So it's just about having a look at what your legislation is, which I'm happy to help out with. And then we still use the same process, but we might have to word it differently and use it, you know, under this code, because America, it's codes, I think. But I think it is all applicable.
Whenever you use UC, if you was to like start documenting, this is what Andy and I talked about before, you would then be using and enveloped in that realm of and immersed in yourself as if willingly. Then use it, you know, if you start quoting UCC, then you are then in that world of, you can't get back out of it. And if they start using UCC and your UCC is not as good as their, you know, it's whoa. So we keep it simple all the time. But what I'm meaning is, if they get the healthcare system and they get these assessments, they can question the validity of them on the same grounds of, and if they want to quote anything to do with, they'll just have to go and look at their local landmass, you know, statewide restriction codes, whatever they are applicable. We're not saying that we're getting rid of trust technology or anything. This is just a little other thing to explore that will help quite a few thousand, possibly, hopefully, maybe save some lives, you know.
Well, I think you're right. You know, that's what it's all about. And for people being unfairly sanctioned when they're clearly ill, and there's, you know, that it's got to stop. But all I'm saying is, I'm sure a lot of the stuff in the letters that we've produced is relevant anywhere. The questions to ask are relevant anywhere. That's the thing. It's just how you've just got to work out how you're asking them. You ask the same questions, but I'm pretty sure that it's a universal language. So it's always about asking questions, remain in honour, clean hands, conditionally accept, and then ask questions. That's what it's about. So I would not be surprised if it is a lot of it. You could use letters or virtually anywhere. I think that's the reality. Is you can ask the questions. You're entitled to ask the questions, and you're entitled to answers. So it's just. But if you start looking around at who you want to question, you'll be amazed at how much information will come to you, like we did with Maximus.
I mean, yeah, it's all there. It is all there, and
you know, then we're throwing at them. You're bankrupt. Here's the numbers. You're dissolved in America. How are you in here? Show us your license. So they have to comply.
I know. Well, what I'm going to say here is, well, if we could politely just wrap it up, because I've got a lot.
Yeah, I'm ready
tomorrow as well. And as much as I love the family and the subscribers and you know what we're doing, and I'll give a lot of time and you know into this.
So Dave, you're sweet, mate.
We'll have another hangout because this is popular, and we'll offer it out to the family, the YouTube family, and I'll collate via. UK email ukfreedomproject@gmail.com, and please put in the subject DWP. Then all I have to do is put in my search of emails DWP, and I'll scan and pick up all those emails. So if you are interested in having Kevin some kind of help or the templates, and you know, the email ukfreedomproject@gmail.com, and then I will pick up and respond to. You must put in there, though, DWP in the subject, or it will get lost, and you'll get lost. So DWP in the subject, and that will then give me, I'll do regular scans. I'm looking for primarily hangout requests. You can come on the camera with the camera off. You don't have to reveal your name. You can tell us a story and help us report. You don't have to. You can get somebody else to come on. You know, get someone.
Yeah, somebody to come and tell your story if you want. Doesn't matter.
If you've never done a hangout and that before, then I appreciate you don't know what to do and you can't get on. But try and find somebody that can. And we'd hope to. I'd like to hear from others, Kev, that have got other stories.
Absolutely.
Or if you do go and use this later on and you are successful with it, I'd like to have a meet up again on.
Come back and tell us. Come back and tell us.
Feedback.
I'm confident. As I say, there's a few things, you know, always said, you know, silly thing. I'll just quickly, Dave, always send everything signed for delivery. So you've got proof of posting and you've got a signature. Always, everything you send to them. It's only a couple of quid every time, £1.75. Imperative you do that. Imperative. You must have a paper trail. You must have a paper trail all the time. So, because as soon as you don't do that, they'll go, oh, we didn't get the letter, and then everything goes tits up, as they say.
And if you can get a buddy on with you on this, or if you helping somebody, that'd be good. Yeah, it's hard, this game. It really is. And when you're personally involved and you're on your own, it's no good. You should never be able. You should never fight on your own.
No.
No, it's wrong. It really is, and they take advantage of that. So, like that puppy takes advantage of you, Big Kev.
Cool. Yeah, he just started to have a whistle on the carpet, a little.
Come on, let's wrap it up. Peace and love.
Right, okay. Peace and love, everybody.
Thank you.
Thanks for listening, everybody. I hope you got something out of it. Don't hesitate to contact me. Dave, you're a star. We'll be speaking a lot, as that's where we are these days. Thanks ever so much for having me on. I hope it's been helpful. Love, peace and love to all you guys. And as I say, hope to hear from you, and we'll get you some successes sorted out.
Yes, my brother. Say good night. Ciao, hello. All right. Thank you very much. Yeah.
Cheers, Dave.
I don't know what's happened. My camera's turned around. I can't do a fist bump.
No, mine did that earlier.
It's never.
Oh, I can see your computer.
Secrets.
Secrets. I saw your porn site.
We've talked about this. Before. It's another reason why the government have failed. There shouldn't be access to porn sites like there are on mobile phones and stuff. It corrupts the minds of the blood of our blood. You know me, first time, totally unrelated, but now you've started it. First time I might saw a pair of woman's boobies might be about 14, going through the woods or in an old shed, or a magazine discarded.
Yeah.
Worms and slugs on it, cast aside in the woods, that kind of scenario. And that wasn't even like what the hardcore XXX, websites. And it's like, oh wow, what kind of world do we live in where young ones can pick up and unrestrictedly act? Shouldn't be happening. It shouldn't be happening. You'll not see it on there. I tell you now. Just secrets. Bless you. Much love to one and all. Thank you very much.
Thanks, everybody. Appreciate your time. See you soon. Ciao, Dave.
Cut myself off. Wow. What? Cut myself off. How embarrassing. I've come back to say bye. Is there anyone left? That was quite rude. It was by accident, non-intentional. Please tell me there's somebody left to cat. 30, yes. Sorry, Kev. I went to say peace and love, and because we've got a shiny silver laptop, oh, Jackie, no. That's where I used to be. They do not endorse anything that I have said. I forgot, I've been outside for a zigzag. That was an old employer. They do not endorse this video or anything that Indigo and this channel says. They shall not be seen again. Whoops, faux pas. That's sorted that out, hasn't it? Thank you to the 28. It's time to go. Now I'm going for real. Peace and love. Ciao, bello. See you soon.